time. Hello, how you doing? Okay.
Hello. Oh my gosh. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Discords. Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, we're back again. Another week, another workshop. Fab. Okie dokie. So, welcome to the Voice Modification Workshop by Trans Network. My name is Zara. I will be your host today. Welcome to all the new people, because we have a handful of new people in here. Yeah, we are Trans Network, or I am Trans Network. This is my community is called Trans Network. You can join it with the links below me. There is the YouTube, youtube.com/@trans_network. Or on the other side, there is the Discord. It's good ass Discord. You should join it. Okay, I have all sorts going on in there. You can get like constant feedback from me and help from me over there. I do free private lessons, although I will be charging for them very soon. And what else we got? And we have a free monthly makeup workshop we just started doing. So yeah, as well as makeup consultations. So we've got all sorts going on now. It's really, really cool. Fab. All right, let's go into the workshop. So firstly, some rules and etiquette for the people in the Discords. Okay, if you're in Discord, this applies to you right now. Firstly, be respectful of the learning environment. This is being broadcast to YouTube, so keep things just internet friendly. I don't mind people swearing too much. It doesn't bother me too much, but keep it to don't go crazy. Also, be respectful of your fellow attendees. I do not want anybody harshly criticizing other people's voices or other people's stuff that they're requesting feedback on. Keep it constructive. So stuff like your voice sucks or is nowhere near ready, anything like that is bad feedback, and I do not want that. And we will take action against you immediately if you pull some shit like that. But what is good feedback is hey, I think your resonance is a bit off, or I think your weight is a bit off. If you don't know, leave it to me. I'm here to help with that sort of thing. So yeah, just keep things helpful. Also, keep things on topic. So there are portions during this where people will be allowed to unmute. During those portions, I just ask that people keep things on topic. So I don't need you telling me about your day or about the new Lego set you just got. Just keep to voice questions. This is a voice workshop. We're sticking to voice stuff. Okay? And lastly, just keep interruptions to a minimum, please, so that everybody can learn. Okie dokie, fab. Oh, and at the end, we will have an open forum section. So if you have anything that you just want to ask about, if you feel like you haven't fully understood something, or there's just something that I haven't mentioned in the workshop that you just need a check-in, then that's for that. Or if you want some one-on-one feedback on your voice, then you'll be able to unmute in that section and we can go for as long as we want to go. There is no limit on your time during that. We just keep going until I get through everybody. The workshops last kind of indefinitely. It's basically once we get through everybody's one-on-ones and everybody that wants one-on-ones, or I pass out, whichever one happens first. So yeah, longest has been 5.5 hours, but usually it's not that long. All right, so firstly, who am I? My name's Zara. I've been working on my own voice for longer than that. It was probably about it was January-ish, mid-January that I became happy with my voice and stable with it, maybe late January. And I started in October of 2023. So that's a year and 3 months. Somebody double check my maths there. About a year and 3 months, I think. To be totally happy with my voice. And I've been teaching and doing this for about 6 months. That was August of last year. I'm an aspiring vocal coach, although very soon won't need that inspiring bit anymore. I am currently receiving training to be a teacher. I'm receiving that over in Synguistics. We are super, super grateful to Crammed Voice Lessons in Synguistics for giving me this training. So if you want to show your love over there, then I highly recommend checking out the Synguistics server as well. There's a link in my Discord. And I imagine if you just Google Synguistics, you will find it. Ain't no way you won't. They're a pretty poppin' server. But yeah. Okay, who I'm not. This is a really important bit. So I'm not a medical professional. I do not have any medical qualifications at all. I'm never ever treating you or giving you any diagnosis or anything. There are different vocal pathologies that can exist, different things that people can have going wrong with their voice on like a physical level, and that's way outside the scope of anything I work with. The closest we ever get to it is if I hear something and I'm like, that sounds similar to a condition I'm aware of, I might just say you should go speak to a doctor. But it doesn't mean you have it. It doesn't mean you don't have it. That doesn't mean I'm treating you for it. All it means is you should chat with your doctor and see what they say. And maybe it's all fine. So yeah, never any medical anything coming from me. Okay? Any questions about that? Because that is like a really important bit. And yes, drink water. The trusty pink jug, indeed. I got this recently. Water is so good. It's absolutely so good. Okie dokie, let's keep going. So, let's talk about some of the basics of how the voice works. We'll start off with just some vocal health stuff because I want that at the beginning. So, things that are important to do. Your vocal folds are they're small ligaments that are attached to some muscles, and it's important that all of that stays nice and hydrated for moving around. It's the exact same as any movement that your body does. It needs some hydration to get it going. And things are generally going to be way, way safer when you're properly hydrated. Things are going to feel more limber and more flexible anyway, which is good. We want things to feel more flexible so we can do stuff. You're also going to be helping with proper mucus regulation. You do need some mucus, I'm afraid, on your vocal folds. And they help just keep things really nice and safe. So yeah, plenty of water is always going to be a good thing. I mean, it's like most of your body, hydration is going to be useful. And it's especially the case for stuff with your voice. You do need to be staying hydrated. I recommend if you're going to be doing some serious voice work, like we do in these workshops, then drink like a pint of water an hour beforehand. It takes a long time for your vocal folds to get hydrated from the point of you drinking water. You don't directly hydrate the vocal folds when you drink water. Instead, it goes down the other hole, the food and water hole, down your esophagus into your digestive system, goes through the entire digestive system into your bloodstream, and then from your bloodstream is transported back to your vocal folds, where it then starts to hydrate things. So it's a proper thing. Yeah, so definitely drink like ahead of time, or just stay hydrated all day. That's also a really good way to do things. Is it just all time or just... Okay, we'll go over that as we go. Okie dokie. Keeping relaxed. Keeping relaxed is really important. Anything where we're like pushing or forcing emotion is generally, it's never going to produce the sound that you want it to produce. It's going to make things more strained and you're more likely to get some damage. If we keep things nice and relaxed, then one, you'll be able to reach further and do more things with your voice when you keep things relaxed. And all the sounds that we're wanting to be producing are relaxed sounds. Like at the end of the day, while I am teaching you how to present as the gender that's opposite to your sex, like we are just talking at the end of the day. Like this isn't some crazy thing. It's just talking. You're just talking differently. So you'll find as we go through this workshop, my voice is totally relaxed. I'm not straining. None of this is difficult for me. Yeah, everything's just as easy for me right now as it was like before I did any voice training. Nothing's changed. So yeah, keep things relaxed. It will help you. Warm-ups. Warm-ups are really, really good. Warm-ups will increase blood flow to the area. This is the case for any physical activity you do, but it's especially important for voice stuff. These are delicate muscles that we're working with, very small. So we need that warm-up to help things stay away from injuries. It will help us stay away from strain. It will help us to keep things hydrated because we're increasing blood flow to the area. Remember earlier I said as we drink, it has to go into the blood, into our blood, from our blood into our vocal tract. So by doing our warm-ups, we have that happening faster. Yeah, warm-ups are good. Any exercise we do, warm-ups are good. It's especially the case when we're doing voice work. And lastly, have fun with it. This is more important than most things where people say just have fun. Like, voice work is inherently exploratory. These are new things that you're doing with your voice that you've probably never done before. So we need to be exploring. We need to be having some fun with it. Keep things just a bit more relaxed. It's going to help us avoid like anxiety stuff. It'll help you deal with dysphoria things if you can just like gamify it and just make it some fun, silly sounds that you're doing. And it'll help you from like just stressing out too much. Because when we stress out too much, we're not staying relaxed. We're more likely to have strain and stuff. We're more likely to freak out. And it's never going to be conducive to good work. So have some fun with it. Just relax into it. It's fun. We're doing crazy sounds. So that's cool. Okie dokie. Things to avoid. All right. So these first ones are really not a super big deal. They're mainly just don't do them immediately before your voice work. The last few are going to be more of a big deal. But I'll go over that as we go through. So, spicy foods. There's a molecule called capsaicin, and capsaicin is what binds to your tongue to produce that spicy taste. Capsaicin, as you swallow it, does irritate the vocal tract a little bit. It's not a big deal, but if you ever had like something spicy and it makes you start like coughing or needing to clear your throat a bunch, that's the capsaicin. So it can just irritate the vocal tract a little bit. You might get a bit of swelling. It's really not a big deal, but don't have it like right before doing your voice work. What you do for the rest of your time is up to you. Caffeine, again, not a super huge deal. It has a slight irritation of the vocal tract, but it also dehydrates you. And we've talked about why hydration is important. So caffeine, it's going to dehydrate you. It's a diuretic, so you're just going to be peeing a whole bunch. So yeah, caffeine, again, not right before you do vocal stuff. Sugar dehydrates you. We've gone over that. Smoking and vaping obviously does a lot more damage. This literally causes cancer. Everybody knows by now that smoking and vaping are both bad for you, so I won't like berate the point. But yeah, just again, don't have any cigarettes, don't do any vaping right before doing your voice work. You're going to have a lot of irritation and potentially some damage going on. So avoid that. It's also going to make things a lot more mucousy. So yeah, that's not a good idea. You can still like change your presentation of your voice as a smoker. It will make things harder though. Your progress might be slower. You might not be able to do practices for as long. And like your vocal tract is just a little bit messed up. So consider quitting, but it's not that you have to quit in order to achieve your goals. Or at least if you know you can't quit, don't give up on this. You can still do this. Just keep things in moderation. Okie dokie. So, dairy. Dairy's a weird one. Dairy just promotes mucus production. I have said earlier that mucus production is important. However, dairy will just make you go overboard. Again, you can have dairy. I do not care if you have dairy in your diet. Just don't have a whole ton of it right before doing your voice work. Yeah, it just produces excess mucus. You're going to be clearing your throat more, which is going to irritate things and inflame things. So not right before your voice work. But again, super not really a big deal. These next three are more of a big deal, and I do want you being more perceptive of them. Strain in your voice, any pain or discomfort, especially those two, and any tension. None of those things are ever going to produce the sounds that you want to produce. Strain sounds like this. If you like, imagine you're lifting, and I don't want you guys to do this, I just want you to listen to me doing this. Excuse me. If you imagine that you are lifting like a really heavy object, like a big, what do we call those? Barbell? Barbells. Yeah, that's what it's called. I know gym things. Imagine you're lifting like really big barbells and they're like super, way too heavy, okay? And you're going like, and then it's talking like this. This is me sounding super, super strained. Do you hear like the strainedness in my voice right now? That's generally not good for your voice. You can, if you do that persistently, you can cause a little bit of damage. There are safe ways to do that like certain singers use, but like for our purposes, it ain't what you want. It's never producing the sound you want. Like that didn't sound more feminine. It didn't sound more masculine. It just sounded strained. So avoid sounds like that. Pain and discomfort is the most serious of them. If you're feeling pain and discomfort, something is going quite wrong. You are probably causing some small damage. It's not the end of the world. Like if you do cause a little bit of vocal damage, it's not that big of a deal. You just need to take a couple of days off. And then you can be straight back at it. However, if you were to just push through the pain and not take the time off, you can eventually cause some more serious damage. If you really just keep pushing through the pain and completely ignoring it, eventually you can develop some scar tissue. You can have some vocal nodes being produced, and vocal nodes have to be removed surgically. So that's more of a big deal. So long as you're keeping in mind that pain is not our goal, and all of what we're doing should feel just as relaxed as normal talking. If you keep that in mind, you'll avoid any of these problems. Tension, lastly, it's not necessarily going to injure you. It depends on what you're tensing, but it's not going to lead you to what you want, and it's going to make it more difficult for you to talk. So avoid tension. You're probably trying to do something else. Like you're probably trying to raise your larynx, for example, and you're tensing something else as well, and you've conflated the two. So if you're finding that something's tense, it's not meant to be tense. Either speak to me or speak to another voice tutor, and they can help you deal with that tension. Because that's going to be more of a, like, depends on what you're tensing in terms of what the solution is. Yeah, in the words of me last session, no pain, no gain doesn't apply to voice training. That is completely true. Okay, questions on maintaining your vocal health. While they're in there, can they surgically make your voice more feminine? Kinda. I mean, they're probably not going to do that while they're removing your vocal nodes. So vocal surgeries that I'm aware of, you can edit your pitch. I believe you can change your weight a little bit. I don't quite remember. I don't believe you can change your resonance. Like you can't, nothing shrinks your larynx that I'm aware of in terms of surgeries. So ultimately, even if you were to have surgery, you'll still need some kind of voice training. I'm able to reach C4 pretty good. Is that good? Pitch, as you're going to find out shortly, or as we go through this workshop, doesn't really matter that much. If you can get to C4, great, but it doesn't make much of a difference. Right now, I'm at about a G3, sometimes going down to like an F sharp 3. I think that's correct. So it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, for most stuff that people struggle with, surgery doesn't really help that much. I would say like surgery is a last resort, and usually, in my opinion, it should be reserved for people that can't be bothered to work on a certain thing, or like want to skip ahead, or like have like a physical something's physically wrong and is preventing you from doing something. Like if you had like some kind of paralysis of the larynx or something, or if you had some issue with your swallowing mechanism. But I imagine you're probably already in the medical system if you have issues with that, because they will show up in all sorts of things in your life. I've got you drinking so much water. Good. That's what I want. Yeah, there are a lot of voice trainers have like all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah. Okie dokie. All right. If there's no more questions, let's keep going forward. So, how do you voice? How am I talking right now? How is it that you talk? What is the process for doing that? So, This is a very simple. This is a very simple model called the power source filter model. It is a simplified model. It's not like it's missing detail, but for your purposes, it's totally fine. So, firstly, air comes from the lungs, goes up into your vocal tract. Okay, we can think of that as being like the power behind your voice. Okay, that's like the fuel that your voice is using to produce sound. Okay, now as that air continues up the vocal tract, from the trachea up into the larynx, where your vocal folds are housed, now as those vocal folds open and close, they chop up the air, getting it vibrating around, and as it's vibrating, now we have sound. Okay, now we've just added two things. Zara, did you look into where volume comes from? Yes, I did. So there are a few things that have now happened as a consequence of us adding sound. That sound has a pitch. So depending on how fast your vocal folds will close, open, closed, so on and so on, depending on how fast they do that, the faster they are, the higher the pitch. The slower they are, the lower the pitch. Also, as your vocal folds do that close, open, close, onwards and onwards, the way they do that can impact the sort of buzziness or weight of the voice. This is sometimes called quotient. The idea being that it's like a maths term. So if we think closed, open, closed, that's a cycle. The quotient of that cycle, if it's spent open, or the open quotient, is going to produce a really light, airy kind of a voice. Whereas if we're more closed during our closed, open, closed, that's going to be more closed quotient, okay? So that's going to be a heavier, buzzier voice, okay? So yeah, we have all of those things being applied. Also, volume is applied at this point, just to answer Red's question there. So as air comes up, if you imagine it's closed to start with, we're building up pressure, and as that pressure builds up and up and up, eventually things will open up again, okay? If we have more pressure building, that's going to produce more volume. So to answer Red's question there, volume is, we call it subglottal pressure, okay? Because the glottis is where vocal folds are, where they're opening and closing. So we have our sound now. That sound then bounces around through our vocal tract, through our, like the right of the back of our throat, into our mouths, into our nose, okay? And out. As it goes out, we then hear that bouncing around as like a resonance kind of thing, okay? Like it's literally, it's resonating through our vocal tract, all right? So these are all things that we can change behaviorally, okay? So, how does this relate to us, okay, as trans people? So, if you are emulating testosterone, then we want to, by behavior, do the things that testosterone is causing. If we're trying to feminize, then we're trying to undo those things that testosterone is causing. Okay? Does that make sense? So, for example, one of the things testosterone does is our vocal folds, you can see them in that little diagram, that's the thing that opens and closes. They lengthen out a little bit. That allows us to get to lower pitches. They also thicken up a bit, okay? That extra mass, them getting thicker, is going to make them stay closed for longer as they're doing their closed, open, closed. That's producing that heavier weight, that closed quotient, okay? And also the larynx lengthens out a bit, okay? It stretches out, all right? That's going to produce a darker resonance. So as it's bouncing around the larynx, okay, it's going to be a lot darker than if it was a smaller chamber. We'll go more over each of those individual things as we go through the workshop. But in principle, do you guys all understand the mechanics of what we're talking about? Even if you don't know how to change it yourselves, do you understand what it is that we're trying to do? I'll go over how to do all these things as we go through. And it's not super important that you really understand all of this. I mainly tell people this because there's a lot of bad info there, and I want you guys to have good info, so that even if it's not me you work with, if you work with a future teacher, you can know if they're full of shit. Because there are a lot out there that are full of shit. I kind of pride myself on not being full of shit, obviously. So I want you guys to be equipped and to know what's what. So, what are we thinking? Do we understand? Are there any questions? Also, all of you, ask your questions. You are never like intruding or anything. I want your questions because sometimes I miss things. Sometimes I'm not super clear. Your questions are how I know like how the audience is vibing. There are two other things they were covering that this place often calls vocal weight. They didn't use that term. Two other users who do voice training on VRChat have used the term. So vocal weight is a term that comes from singing that refers to that sound change. Okay, question, how's it going? It's going good. That refers to the sound change. When I say glottal quotient, I'm essentially referring to like the mechanics that cause that change in sound. Okay, so glottal quotient. Okay, quotient is like a maths term. It literally means basically it means percentage. It's not quite that, but it basically means percentage. So if I was to say an open quotient or a larger open quotient, you could think of that as like a larger open percent of our cycle. Okay, the closed, open, closed. So an open quotient is going to be like closed, open, closed, open, closed, open. Whereas a more closed quotient is going to be closed, open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. Does that make sense? No worries, Fro. If you need to go back over any of this, then you can check for VOD. youtube.com/@trans_network. What percentage are we aiming for? We're not aiming for a specific percent. We're just aiming for like more one way than the other. So if you're after feminized, you're after a more open quotient. If you're more masculized, you're after a more closed quotient. We don't really have like a specific percentage because that's going to depend on where you want to land on your voice. Just wondering, what would be the common mistakes causing tension when raising the larynx? We'll get to that later. I'll go to, we'll be going to quotient next, and then we'll get to larynx stuff after that. Thank you for linking my YouTube over in Transvoice. Do be careful. I don't know how. I haven't been able to get much information from mods over in Transvoice, but just do be careful because I don't know how they feel about people linking different resources. It might be totally fine. I literally just don't know. Okay, if there are no more questions about the mechanics of all this, then let's go forward into some actual. How do we do any of this? All right. How do you actually use the information I've just given you to change how your voice sounds? And if you do have like a question about what we've just gone over that pops up to your mind, do just ask in chat. I can absolutely go back over it. You haven't like missed your opportunity. Okie dokie. So the first thing I usually get students to do, and this one doesn't change your voice at all. Okay. It just builds some really good habits and it is your warm up. So SOVTEs. Or SOVTs. These are semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. It's a complicated name. All it means is some partial closure at the front of your vocal tract while we're doing our voice stuff. So some common ways that we can have some closure at the front is we could do like a lip trill. We could do like a ying, ying. We could do an N, and we could do a tongue trill. You can do, there's something called a, the name has just left me, the little dangly thing in the back of your throat. Why has its name just left me? Alveolar trill. Alveolar? Is that correct? I feel like I've just totally gotten that wrong. Oh well, uvular, thank you. Uvular trill. Oh my gosh. A uvular trill is something you can do. I can't do it, but some people can. or at least I haven't learned to do it properly yet, and I don't really care. What others have we got? Z. There's loads of different things we can do. Now, humming isn't going to be as useful. Okay? The reason for that is the reason behind the softies themselves. So the reason we want that partial blockage at the front is because we are trying to build pressure. Okay? Having that partial blockage is making pressure in your mouth, pushing back down your vocal tract. Okay? Now, remember earlier I said as our lungs come up, we build up to that subglottal pressure. Okay? We're building up pressure behind the vocal folds, pushing upwards. Okay? So by having some pressure pushing downwards again, we neutralize some of that pressure. So our vocal folds that are sitting in between all of us, they don't have as much pressure acting upon them. Okay? The backwards pressure negates some of the upwards pressure. Does that make sense? So it makes things a little bit softer for our vocal folds themselves, which means they can stretch out and have a good little workout without being under too much pressure. Okay? And this is like literally air pressure. Okay? So, the last one, the best, so humming, sorry, I should mention that. Humming, the reason we don't do that is because it just doesn't produce much pressure. It's as simple as that. Humming just doesn't really produce that much pressure. The best one, though, if it produces the most pressure, is going to be our bubble phonations, also called straw phonations. So, the way we do bubble phonations is we get a straw and we get a bottle of water, ideally like half full, mine's a bit too full. The only reason you don't want it too full is because we're going to be blowing bubbles. And it's going to make a mess. If you don't care about a mess, then it doesn't matter how full it is. Okay? It could be a glass, it could be anything, it just has to contain water. Okay? But, you know, the shallower your sides, the more you're going to make a mess. All right? Glasses, you will make a mess. Okay? I prefer bottles who make less mess. But I'll leave that up to you to decide. Okay? So we'll take a straw. I want it about that far in. About that far. You'll be able to get a gauge for how far it needs to be as you're blowing. Okay? I want you to feel some resistance, but not so much that it's difficult. Okay? So, dip it in and just start blowing some bubbles. Then as we're blowing our bubbles, okay, I want us to start humming through that. Okay? Now, when we're doing, so we've built that pressure to push back against our air pressure pushing up. So now we start stretching things out. Okay? So our full softy is going to sound something like this. Or whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Okay? So pitch slides is how we're going to have that little stretch going on. Usually the way I'll tell people to do it is imagine like a pendulum. Okay? Excuse me. A pendulum is usually going to start like high up with a lot of force, and it's going to swing until it trickles out of energy. Okay? We want to do the opposite of that. Okay? So a small pitch movement, steadily building up to bigger and bigger pitch movements. Okay? We're going both up and down. All right? I want you to like go for the full length of your pitch. Okay? So you can follow along. Either do your bubble phonations, or you can do lip trills. You can do whatever you want to do. Bubble phonations are the best ones, but like lip trills are totally fine. The only ones that I'm going to say don't do are hums. All of the others are completely fine. But this is the best one. Okay? All right, let's go for it. Couldn't find a straw? Just do the lip trills. That's totally fine. I'm starting to splash. Okay, that was the limits of my pitch range. And I splashed everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do I have anything to wipe this up? No, I don't. I'm just gonna freaking... Yeah. Sorry, leather jacket. Okay, so we literally were just going until we get to the edges. Okay? And the last thing I tend to get people to do to get a really, really good stretch is we do a little siren at the end. That's where you go up to the top and then you just go like, and the same thing then going down. So it sounds like this. And then the same thing going down. Okay, and those are our softies. Congratulations, you have just done softies. Well done. I should really bring like a towel to these because I've got water everywhere. Okay, where's my lid? Okay, questions. You found something curious. Your tongue trail got stuck a few times. When you say stuck, what do you mean? Do you mean that you lost phonation? Was it like... Was it like that? That's an issue of too much pressure. Your bubble phonations. Bubble phonations are the best ones to get like the perfect technique because the water helps stabilize you. And it will help teach you to go up without pushing too much. Okay? You're right, it's a foolish mistake. Never forget your towel. Always bring a towel. Classic blunder. Bottle's harder to clean, but I imagine you're drinking from a bottle through the day anyway. Yeah, I drink my... It's you're just blowing bubbles into it. It's not like you've like ruined the water. Yeah, it's okay to flip into falsetto of a higher parts of your range. That's totally fine. If you're doing that, try to make sure that it's going into like a nice... like I don't want like... just a straight... Okay? Try to, as best as you can, try to make it a really smooth transition. No yodeling. You drink from a beer mug. Wow, that is a power move. Bubble phonations are more effective if you do them directly into the ocean. I don't believe that is true, but maybe you should test it. Okay, any other questions about softies before we move on? Yeah, true. Bubble phonations into the ocean. That was the top secret. All along. Who knew? This is a really nice outfit. I really like this outfit, but I'm getting really hot. Also, I need to like iron this down because it keeps like going like that. It's supposed to be like this. But well, one day I'll get around to doing that. Largest amount of water, unlimited spillage. Yeah. But if you're blowing bubbles in the ocean and then it's just splashing back into the ocean, then who cares? Okie dokie. All right, if there are no more questions, let's keep going. So, all right, let's do some actual trans voice stuff. Okay? So, I talked earlier about vocal weight or glottal quotient. Reminder, we have our vocal folds. Okay? So, air comes up, interacts with our vocal folds, which chop it up and make it vibrate around. Okay? And the way they do that is literally you have your little ligaments here, the vocal folds. They close, open, close, open, close, open, on and on continuously. Okay, and they do that really freaking fast. All right. Now, if we were to take that as a percentage, okay, like a closed percentage or an open percentage, okay, that's going to give us our quotient. All right. You don't need to think about the actual percentage itself. Just think a more closed quotient is going to produce a heavier, buzzier voice. A more open quotient is going to produce a lighter, gentler kind of a voice. Okay. So let's have a little example. So right now you're hearing a more open quotient. This is gentle, this is soft, it's not particularly buzzy. If I add some quotient, okay, now I have a lot more quotient going on, okay, a much more closed quotient. So now you can hear there's a lot more buzziness to my voice. There's a lot more roughness, a lot more, some people might perceive it as like aggressiveness. You might hear it being louder. I'm maybe a smidgen tiny bit louder right now. I could go like really quiet. And now I'm not louder at all. But you might still hear it as louder, even though it's not. And that's just because humans will generally perceive quotient as being similar to loudness. I'll now switch it back to a more open quotient, and you can hear that huge difference, okay? I hope it comes through nicely on the mic. But this is a much more open quotient than what I was doing just before. It's much lighter, it's much gentler. It doesn't have that buzz running through it anymore. Okay, does everybody hear that difference? If I bring things to my unmodified voice, okay, if I bring things down here, all right, now I have a more closed quotient. This has that buzziness going on. If you haven't done any voice training at all and you've been exposed to testosterone, then this is what your voice is going to sound like. It's going to have that buzziness going on. And now I'll remove that buzziness, and now I have a more open quotient. You can hear all of that buzziness has just totally gone. Again, it's a little bit quieter, but I could even like raise my voice a little bit, and now I've like brought the volume back up, and it still sounds like it doesn't have any of that buzziness going on. Whereas now I have that buzziness back again. Okay, so do you hear that big difference? All right. And again, if I bring things back to my my new voice, this is a more open quotient, a lighter vocal weight. Okay. You can hear how one sounds like lighter and the other sounds a lot heavier. You can hear how one's buzzy, one's not buzzy, one's soft, one's not soft. So one's a more closed quotient, one's a more open quotient. Does that make sense to everybody? Does everybody hear that difference? Do those words make sense? And what you're going to start noticing, especially as we go through these sections of a workshop, is that voice terms suck. There's a million free voice terms that we can use depending on how we're looking at our voice. Whether we're looking at the mechanics, we're talking about like quotient, whether we're talking about like the perception, so it'd be like weight and stuff. Or I guess that's more like the acoustics, it's gonna be like weight and stuff. Or whether we're looking at the perception itself, which is gonna be like buzzy or soft or gentle. We sort of, as we get to more of something that we would like intuitively understand, we're also getting more and more subjective and more vague, unfortunately. So like voice terms are a nightmare because ultimately like it's the sound that's the important thing, not the word you put to the sound. Yeah. So if you get confused about terms, that's super normal. Most people get confused about terms. Just ask, and you'll have lots of people, including myself, that are happy to help you with terms. But you'll hear that difference in sound, okay? So let's get you guys doing some of this. So, boom, 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 boom. What should we go for first? I think we mainly have feminizers today. Looking at who has turned up. Do we have any masculizers? Let me know in the chats. Is anyone here for masculization, or is all feminization? And by the way, if you're androgenizing, okay, all you're doing is you're taking your baseline, let's say if you're AMAB and if you've had testosterone exposure, then you're feminizing just not as much. You're like stop in the middle, okay? If you've not been exposed to testosterone and you want to androgynize, you're just masculizing, but you stop sooner. So you're just finding that middle spot. Yeah? Okay, we'll start on feminizing and then we'll go over to masculizing. So if we are trying to feminize, I'll start off, this is like a universal drill that everybody should be able to get. But if you struggle with it, I'm going to go through some other ones that are a little bit more like, some people will get them and some people won't, but the people that will get them like really nicely. So we'll go through a few. And if one of them works for you, that's enough. We just need one that clicks for you intuitively. Okay? Okie dokie. So we'll start off with, I call it the pitch sigh. I don't really have a good name for this one, but the idea is essentially you've heard the difference. Okay, reminder. That's a light vocal weight, an open quotient. That's a closed quotient, a heavier vocal weight. That buzziness is what we're going for. Okay, so let's go from what open quotient. So we're going to start off, your pitch is going to be lower, okay? And you're going to have a more closed quotient, okay? We'll start off, and then we're going to slide up in our pitch. And as we slide up in our pitch, we're going to lighten our vocal weight, okay? We're going to go from more open quotient. It'll sound like this. Now, I don't mind if you go all the way up into falsetto with this, so long as when we come down again, you come out of that falsetto, okay? So we're going to go start off low pitch with a closed quotient or a heavy vocal weight, slide up in our pitch as we lighten, as we go to more open quotient, and then we're going to slide down again, keeping that open quotient or light vocal weight, okay? It'll sound like this. And now I've got that nice and light vocal weight. Everything sounds very gentle. And things are sounding pretty open quotient, pretty light, not buzzy, gentle, soft. Okay? So give that a go. Tell you what, how do people feel about doing one unmuted for people at home? Oh my gosh, we've never done this before. Do we all want to do one at the same time? Yeah? All right. On the count of 3, okay? You're going to do exactly what I just did. Everybody together, okay? I want everyone to unmute for this bit, all right? 1,
What about?
2, 3. Amazing. Okay, wonderful. That was really good. Okay, we're going to do that way more often. I love that. Okay, back to muted. Back to muted. I don't want to hear you. I do want to hear you. Okay, that was amazing. Well done, guys. I really liked that. That was great fun. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, I loved that. We're going to do that every workshop. That's sticking around. I love that so much. Okay, so as a reminder, once more. And we're keeping that lighter vocal weight. Now, when you practice this, in terms of your actual practice, I want you to continue that into some talking, okay? Whether you're talking about your day, whether you're talking about what you had for breakfast, where you could explain like out loud what you just did. You can tell yourself your plans for the day, explain some topic to yourself out loud. As long as you're just talking off the top of your head out loud, amazing. We can do some reading stuff at first, but really I want you moving to just that talking, okay? So we've got that one. We've also got our little baby one. So you can imagine that you're holding a little baby, or you could be like petting a puppy or a kitten or whatever's cute to you, a little baby mouse, whatever it is. Okay? So we've got our little whatever, okay? And we're just going to coo at it, okay? Cute baby. Okay? And now the other end, I want us to compare that, okay, to us. Imagine the baby has just thrown up. Gross baby, Or the kitten just bit you. Kitten, ow, 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 ow. Okay? Do you hear that difference in buzziness? Versus Okay? So do both of those, compare them in your head, and then take that into some talking. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now it can also sound like this, and I'll do this with the pitch side as well. It can also, if I bring things down over to my original voice, okay, my unmodified, we can have like an oh, okay, oh, very cute baby, okay, versus a gross baby, gross, I'm all covered in sick now, gross, okay, and then we compare those two. And then we continue that into our normal talking, okay? That's going to be our lighter vocal weight. And again, for our pitch side, that can be And now in our lighter vocal weight, we've got things much more gentle. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you are in terms of your, so it's the stuff that's next is the stuff I've just changed there, our larynx height. I don't mind where that is right now, just as long as we're getting this vocal weight, this posturing thing, this our glottal quotient changing. That's what I want to have different. Okay? How does one not have a wavering in voice when you're going back down? That's probably you running out of breath. Just breathe in. If you need to go okay, if you need to breathe in as you do it, that's fine. It could also be, as Lismara said, it could be like a breath control thing. Maybe your voice is just lacking stability in general. Like if you just generally go and you find it's going that's like a lack of stability issue. You can Google how to change your stability, because that is one thing that the singing community does know how to do that. Generally, I'm going to say push in on your stomach with your fist, okay, and then try to do it. You'll find it really difficult. Now, still push in, but use your abs to push against the fist again. You should feel there's a huge difference when you do that, okay? That's you bringing some support with your abs, all right? It's diaphragm stuff. It's like some more classic, some classic singer stuff. Okie dokie. Boo, 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 boo. What else we got? So if you haven't liked either of those so far, we can also think of for those that have listened to ASMR, I love some ASMR, not for weird shit. If we can think of some softly spoken ASMR, they're normally talking like this. They are talking quietly, so keep in mind that you might conflate the two here. So if you're doing it like this, just try to bring the volume up a little bit while keeping it nice and gently and softly spoken, okay? And then at the opposite end, we can think about a sports announcer. Yeah, heck yeah, sports, things to do with sports. I don't know anything about sports, but yeah, things to do with sports. Strike, batter out, whatever things to do with sports, okay? I don't know any of it. Or if I bring things into my unmodified voice, then it's going to be goal, or oh my gosh, the person's dribbling the ball, and oh my gosh, we're going to score, and oh my gosh. Okay? We have that really, really heavy thing going on. And then at the opposite end, we want to imagine we're doing some nice and gentle ASMR. Okay? It's going to be really, really gentle, really, really soft. Okay? That's going to be our lighter vocal weight, our open quotient. Okay? So you can use those to compare. What else? That sports announcer always makes people run out of breath a little bit. Okay, and then our last one, if none of those are working for you, and again, this is like, there are so many different ways you can approach glottal quotient or weight. This is just like a selection. If none of those have worked, I find a pretty consistent one that only works for getting a lighter open quotient. There isn't a heavy version of this. Is you just do a big yawn, okay? And now we're going to talk with our yawny voice. You're going to hear it kind of sounds really dopey. It sounds darker because the stuff we're going to do next, the larynx stuff, is also affected. But it does sound a really, really nice open quotient, okay? So then when we do our other... Excuse me, I'm like hiccuping a whole lot. When we then bring our larynx back up, we can then have that lighter stuff coming in, and it's still going to be nice and good and where we're wanting it to be. Okay? So there's our last one, if you just need to like force your way in now. Okay, for the masculizers, okay, if we're going the opposite, the cooing versus grossed out, you just focus on the grossed out. For ASMR voice, you just focus on the sports announcer. For the more universal one that everybody should reasonably have an okay idea with, is instead of going up with our pitch, we're going to go down, okay? And you'll notice as you keep going down in your pitch, eventually things get a little weird. They get kind of sludgy and breaky and kind of just weird. We call that grave, okay? It sounds like this. And you can hear I have like a lot more vocal weight in my voice right now. Like you can hear that roughness, that buzziness in my voice right now. If I then bring it back up. So I then want to bring it back up while having that still, like that buzziness still in there. Yeah? So you have, like, this is going to give you like a super, super close quotient, okay? This is like as buzzy as I can possibly go right now. And yeah, this is going to be like a super, super heavyweight, a super close quotient, okay? Usually you're going to want to back it off to about here-ish, but you can figure that out as you're going to stuff. If I bring things back into my masculine for that, I could do like a... And now I've got that really, really heavy vocal weight. Now I have that like super Giga Chad thing going on. Okay, this is like as heavy as I can possibly go, and that's what that exercise produces. So essentially, it's just a matter of pitch slide as far down as you can possibly go. Just if you're at the bottom, keep going. Okay, as far down as you can possibly go. The only way you'll be able to achieve that is with a super heavy vocal weight, because pitch and weight are kind of connected. Okay. As we go up in our vocal weight, it gets a lot easier when we're keeping things gentle, okay, for going up in pitch, which is why usually people by habit will open their quotient, okay, they will go for a more lighter vocal weight as they're going up in pitch. Some people will do a closed quotient still, and then that's something we listen out for. Compare it to how mine sounds, and you'll notice it's totally different, okay? But for going down, as you go down in pitch, you cannot do that with an open quotient. So if I did our pitch side from before and I just keep going down, if I don't change my vocal weight and get heavier, listen to what happens. You can hear eventually it just totally cuts out. The reasoning for that is you need some vocal weight to achieve lower pitches. So if you're masculizing, if you just force yourself to go as low pitch as possible, the only way you'll be able to do that is by having a more closed quotient, okay? So it will like force you into a closed quotient, okay? If you're really, really deep, you have all sorts of weird things going on as well as a closed quotient. So then we just drag that back up again, okay? But keeping that buzziness going on. And that should deal with like the other stuff that comes in as well, like the fry. If you still have a bit of fry, don't worry about it. Let the fry stay there. You can get rid of it afterwards. Your main thing that you want to focus on is keeping that really heavy vocal weight. Okay? All right. Questions? Any questions from you guys? Some common conflations you might get it confused with. An open quotient or a light vocal weight is not the same as breathiness, okay? If I breathe out as I'm talking, this is me having a really, really breathy kind of a voice. You can hear that I haven't sounded like this through any of the stuff we've been doing because breathiness isn't what we're targeting right now, okay? I have heard some places using breathiness. I have no idea how that could possibly be a thing. I'm not going to critique their way of doing things because, like, I haven't investigated fully into what the hell they're doing. But open quotient or light vocal weight is not breathiness. They are different things. Okay? Yeah. Also, of the flip side, okay, fry, I did mention that if you're doing the pitch slide down into grave, you can have some fry coming up, but I'd want you to be able to identify which is which, okay? Fry sounds like this. For crackliness, that's fry, okay? Whereas this is fry, okay? Whereas this is a really heavy vocal weight. Do you hear how this is like a very, very different thing than this is? Yeah. So these are different things. But during the grave thing, you're going to have both of them going on. So just watch out for that, okay? Boo, 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 boo. Yeah, we did answer that stability thing. Yeah, if you're having issues with stability as you're going down. Oh, yeah. That was for the pitch slides. You go back down. You're probably having an issue of like running out of air. You can just stop, take a breath, keep going in the drill if you need to. Or you might have an issue with your diaphragm thing. If you rewind a little bit, I went over that and I had a little drill for you that might help. So just go through that. What exactly is a tongue trill? You're mega behind. Tongue trill is... If we can keep ourselves to music for a moment, please. And we can go through different stuff. No, it's totally fine, don't worry. Meant the question for weight when speaking. Wait, what? Oh, wait, yeah, I got my things muddled up, sorry. You've been struggling with this. So you can get a really good, stable, low weight. I think you meant lightweight there. When you do a low volume, but when you try to get louder, you get heavier. Okay. Yes, that's another really common conflation with weight or glottal quotient, is mixing them up with volume. So this is a weird one, okay? So just try to follow what I'm saying in this next bit, because it's a bit weird. So volume and weight aren't connected. However, they seem like they're connected. The reasoning for that is twofold. One, humans just hear vocal weight as kind of being louder, even when it's not. The reason for that is, as people, we tend to, when we're trying to like alert people, and when it's like our alarm sound in humans is increasing our vocal weight. Okay, so remember the drill we did earlier for grossed out. Okay, we're grossed out is an alarm, or you've been bitten. Okay, we're making an alarm sound. Okay, that's why we're getting heavier when we make those sounds. Okay, it's kind of like an old fucking caveman thing. Like you see predator and you go like, ah, okay, because it's heavy, okay, and it brings stuff to attention. Oh, there's a Tom Scott video on this. I had no idea. I will look that up, or link it to me if you can find it. The other thing is that because this is linked to an alarm sound, people also just be louder when they do this, okay? So probably every time in your life that you've modulated your vocal weight, you also modulated your volume. So people just use both at the same time as like a double whammy, okay? I see. I'll have a listen to that. A future one. Thank you. So yeah, you're both just probably have done them both at the same time often, and so you have that habit. But also, you probably conflate like how you hear them a little bit. So let me just give you a heavy vocal weight, a closed quotient that's quiet. Okay, if I go like that's open quotient, that's closed quotient. Okay, and now I'm going to go like really, really quiet. Okay, this is still closed quotient, but it's a lot it's a lot quieter. Okay. Whereas now I'll go back to my open quotient, and I'm going to be like as loud as I can go. Hey, 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 you over there, hey, hey. That was still an open quotient, okay? The absolute loudest, I did get a little bit heavier there, but you get the idea. Okay, so you should be able to get to an open quotient while still being at normal speaking volume. You might find that as you try to get like really loud, you have a little bit of extra vocal weight coming in, but that's like, we're shouting at that point. If you try to do some exploration without actually talking, you can do a loud light and a quiet heavy. Good, that's step one. And there's still a bit of a perceived difference, but that makes sense. I don't mind a slight difference so long as in your normal, you can be a normal speaking volume at your light weight. That's what we're wanting. Yeah, so just keep practicing it in your exploration and go from there into talking and go back and forth. And every time you find your speaking going off, go back through your exploration thing that you've been doing. Whether that's with a drill or whatever, and just keep going back and forth until you can do it consistently. Okay. Any other questions about weight or glottal quotient? More water. I also have my freaking, oh no, my, okay, it's still just about like lukewarm. I'll live with it. That's what happens when you forget about your tea. Yeah, so if you're struggling to bring that into speech, just go back and forth between the two, and let that like help you recenter. Any other questions? There's no way that everybody fully understood that. I ain't that good. All right? Anybody that's lost right now, anyone that's struggling, okay? Ask me questions. I don't want people getting left behind. If you don't know what's going on because you're late, then head over to the VOD on YouTube and just rewind. YouTube.com/trans_network. If you rewind to wherever it, like at the beginning or whatever, and then play it at like 1.25 speed, then eventually you'll catch up. But if you've sat through all of this and you're confused, that means you need questions. Yeah, that's how I keep myself like as close to the life as possible when I'm watching streams. You hit an ad, 1.25 speed, baby. All right, I see one person typing. I will wait for that person to finish typing before we move forward. While you're typing, I'm going to plug stuff. I should be plugging stuff. So we just talked about the YouTube. Excuse me. Okay, so we just talked about the YouTubes. Subscribe to that, obviously. Everything I do, I stream to YouTube as well. We also have a monthly makeup workshop, Makeup and Beauty. That's for both the feminizers and the masculizers. That's our in-house makeup person, Lee. I might get them to do a masculizing next one. We'll see. We're very much like doing that based on people's needs. And right now we haven't really had many people wanting help with masculization. But if people want that, then, you know, let me know. Yeah. So yeah, head over to the YouTubes to watch all of that. Or if you want to be at the events live in the Discords, Trans Network is always the place to be. So head over to my Discord, link on my Zaras12 account. You'll see that in the chat of your relevant thing. Like for Trans Voice, I posted this originally in in voice discussion, so just find that Zaras12 and you can find a link there. Or it is written right there. You can just type that out. Yeah. If you're in Trans Academy, you can't link for Discord, I'm afraid, because Trans Academy blocks invite links. Yeah. Also, if you really appreciate what we're doing right now, I do have a Ko-fi. So if you're enjoying this and you're learning from it and you want to support us doing more stuff like this, then head over to the Ko-fi. Your financial support means the world. This happens because people subscribe to the Ko-fi. That's the only way I'm able to do any of this. Right now, I'm the only person that does free private lessons. I do free everything at the moment. We do free voice workshops. We do free makeup workshops. We do free straight up private lessons. And I've never seen anybody else do that. We've been doing those for like months. So Ko-fi, if you want to support that. People with no income, so just head over to the Discord, head over to YouTube, and spread the word. Like if you want to support, but you just don't have the money to do that, then spread the word. You know, you can essentially advertise for me. You know, get other people in here because those people might support. And it's just, you know, it's more people getting help, which is what we want. So, yeah. Oh, Snaston's heading off? Well, thank you so much for coming, Snaston. And yeah, watch through the VOD. That's totally fine. And like, if you watch through the VOD and then you head back and you have questions, then just head into the Discord and I'll answer those questions for you. How can I do free private lessons? Free pirate lessons? How would one join it? So right now they are fully booked. There might not actually be any more spaces for private lessons. The reason I do them private is I said at the start, I'm an aspiring vocal coach. I'm still building. I'm still building my experience with all this. Like I say, I've been doing these for, like I first started doing the workshops 6 months ago. That's when Trans Network was created, August of 24. And then I started doing lessons, was that like October or November? Something like that. Yeah, I've been doing for private lessons for free since then, just so I can build experience and build knowledge. I didn't feel like my quality was at a level where I was comfortable charging yet, because I'm still learning. Not that stops a lot of people, but I want to have good quality stuff. So right now my quality is definitely above a lot of coaches I see. But it's not as far as I want it yet. Like I say, I am doing training over at Synguistics. Like I'm being trained for free. Amazing. Huge thank you to Kremd. Again, head over to Synguistics if for no other reason, just to thank him. Because like he's straight up training me for free. It's insane. The man is a fucking saint. So yeah, after I complete my training, I'll probably be feeling a lot more confident. I am already feeling a lot more confident. So I'll probably start charging a small amount for some of the lessons. We're probably going to work on something like fully private lessons being charged for, because at the end of the day, I do need to make money at some point. I need to like eat. And by making some money, it means that I can spend more time doing things for people. Because it means I don't have to like work my full-time job, which I currently do. But I'm going to keep, for now, I'm going to keep the public lessons for free. So right now I only do private lessons, but eventually I'm going to open up like shadowable lessons that go on YouTube and stuff that everybody can watch and learn from. And those will still be for free, is what I'm thinking at the moment. Yeah. Or if we get like some crazy whale that is like giving like $2,000 a month or something insane over the Ko-fi and is like supporting my full-time income, then heck, everything stays free. Screw it, because somebody else is paying for it. But yeah, eventually it needs to become a full-time income so that I can do this more and help people. Cool, okay. We just went on a whole rant. Good opportunity for any questions. Let me look through. The warm-up works for singing work as well. It's just a warm-up. So anything you're doing with your voice, that warm-up is useful. If you know you're going to be giving like an hour-long presentation, do some of those softies. It'll help you stop straining. If you know you're going to be doing like a lot of shouting and screaming, then some of those warm-ups will help you to at least last longer before you lose your voice. If you do lose your voice, by the way, anything where you do that, that's one of those times when you take a break. It'll help you just anything with your voice, and yeah, that includes singing. Does everybody across all the Discords hear each other? Yes, but not great. I need to set that up properly so people can hear each other a bit better. It's kind of just going from my speakers to my mic, which obviously I have it set up so it doesn't really do that very much. So usually people don't really hear it very well. Okay, no more questions. Let's keep going. All right, this is the juicy bit, okay? This is going to give you the biggest change in your voice. Size or resonance, also referred to as larynx height. So let's go over what resonance is first. And size will come into this as well. All right, give a listen to this ukulele. Okay, just tapping on the body of my ukulele. Now, take a listen to my guitar. Way darker sound, way larger sound. Now, the bodies are pretty similar shaped. The only difference is the size. I'm muting the strings so that they become irrelevant. The major difference there is our size, okay? When a sound bounces around a chamber, when it bounces around a chamber, the size of that chamber changes the sound produced, okay? Now, earlier, remember, I said that when your vocal tract is exposed to testosterone, it lengthens, okay? That means we've got a bigger vocal tract, okay? It's our larynx has gotten bigger, okay? So if we're trying to feminize, then we need to shrink it down again. Or if you're masculizing, you need to really stretch it out and get that big, big size, okay? If you're androgenizing, somewhere in the middle. So what I just did there with the guitars, we can do with our larynx, all right? Check this out. I love this drill, it's so cool. So there's my Adam's apple. Watch it, okay? Firstly, I'm gonna move it down. Now it's like this, okay? Listen to this. Did everybody hear that? Okay? That's literally me shrinking my larynx by raising it. Yeah? So that's going from the guitar to the ukulele. Okay? So when you see people call it size, that's what they're referring to. Our larynx has gotten smaller. Okay? Kinda. Technically, but for your purposes, smaller will do. Okay? The way we did that was by raising our larynx. So when you hear people talk about larynx height, they're talking about the motion that we do to produce that. Okay? When people say resonance, they're referring to the thing that's happening. Okay? So that sound is resonating, and as we change the chamber that it's in, the size, the resonance changes. Okay? It resonates through a smaller chamber, which produces a brighter sound, okay? Or a larger chamber for a darker sound. Does that make sense to everybody in terms of like the mechanics of all this? I'm seeing no questions, so I'm hoping that I'm hoping that means that made total sense. So, how do you do this? How do you move your larynx? All right, crazy. So, the main exercise that most people are going to work with, because it's just a good-ass exercise, is big dog, small dog. All right? The idea is essentially, we'll start off, we'll pant like a really big dog, okay? This is for the feminizers. Okay? Now, I want you to pant like a really little dog, okay? And watch my larynx as this happens, okay? Big dog. Okay? You saw my larynx go up as I did that small dog, Okay? Now listen to the sound. You can hear how one sounds way smaller. Okay? Now if I bring into some phonation, okay, some sound. Do you hear that huge difference that we just produced? Okay?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. So we just massively changed the sound of our voice there. Okay? All right. Everybody, we did it for our quotient. Now let's do it for our larynx height. Everybody together. We're going to do a big dog, and then a little dog, and then we're going to go into phonation. Okay? I want everybody to do this. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Everybody unmute. Everybody unmute. 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 Okay? 3, 2, 1. Nice. Good. Okay, everybody mute again. That was great. I heard some really nice raised larynxes there. That was actually really good. I didn't hear anybody screw it up. Good stuff. Okay, so again, you hear that sound difference.
1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear that this sounds a lot larger, a lot darker than
1, 2, 3, 4. This sounds much, much smaller, okay? And much brighter. Okay, so that's for change that we're trying to get. Okay? Another way you can approach this is with a whispered vowel. It's the same principle. We're just taking a vowel and doing effectively the same thing. Okay? So imagine we're going for like an ah, okay? Okay? Get that ah as small as it can go. Okay? And then bring that into phonation. Okay? It's as simple as that. Or e, or an an okay, we can work for any vowel. Okay. Now, really important with the with the whispered vowels, make sure that you start and end on the same vowel. That's super, super important. The reasoning for that is different vowels have their own internal resonance. Okay, that's based on, like we talked about, the different chambers. Your larynx isn't the only chamber; it's just one that's relevant right now. Your lips technically are making a chamber as they move around, that like little gap there in your mouth. Okay, that is its own chamber, and as we do our different vowels, that's changing. Okay, the darkest vowel is like an or maybe like an o, somewhere one of those two. They're going to be your darker vowels. Whereas like an e or an a, they're going to be a much brighter vowel. We'll stay muted for this bit, please. So make sure for your a doesn't become an a, or your doesn't become an e, or something like that. Yeah, keep needing to stop your o becoming an a. Yeah, super, super common. Okay, so remember, okay, yeah, very different. Okay, so make sure you keep them as a and as separate things. Yeah, because I don't want for you, when you then go into do your talking, I don't want your to get all distorted and sounding weird, or I don't want your to just suddenly the larynx drops as soon as you go to anything with Okay, so make sure you're getting all of that nice and consistent. Okay, now a common thing that people get this mixed up with is pitch. Okay, none of what we just did with anything to do with pitch. Okay, listen to me now. I'm going to move my pitch down and up. Okay, that was pitch. Okay, here's larynx height or resonance or size. Okay? Do you hear how that's a totally different thing than Sorry. Okay? All of those, like if you can make a tune of it, if you can make a tune, it's pitch. Okay? The nice thing about our whispered stuff, you'll notice both of those exercises, they're all using that kind of whispery kind of thing. Okay? The reasoning for that is when we go into a whisper. Now we're in something called a whisper. Is the term is non-harmonic. You don't need to even know what that means. Effectively, there's no pitch. That's not really correct, but for your purposes, treat it as correct. Okay? So when we're whispering, if I get up higher, that just means that my larynx is raised. Okay?
Whereas if I go lower, now my larynx has dropped. Okay.
So all of this is just larynx movement. It's nothing to do with pitch. Okay? Technically, yes, technically the pitch is changing, but don't worry about that. Okay? For your purposes, pitch didn't change. All right? Does that make sense? So use our whisper space to bring ourselves into our larynx change. Yeah? Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions? Because like larynx height is like a real big one. And a lot of people find it confusing. You think so? Good, good. I'm not seeing any questions. I'm going to call out names if I don't see any questions. There's got to be somebody that's got confused because resonance is hard. Okay? Larynx height is hard. Are there any other exercises? The only other one I could give you is for darkening. If you're masculizing, you could go for the yawn voice again. So remember earlier I did this.
Oh, going to big yawn, okay, and then we'll talk in our kind of yawny voice. You're hearing my voice is super, super dark right now, like super, super dark, okay? So we could use this, our yawn voice. This always brings us to a light vocal weight and a darker resonance, okay? So if you're needing that specifically, then you can use that.
Okay? Other than that, stick with your big dog, little dog, or your whispered vowels, or both. Overstimulated, so you're going to bail now? That's totally fine. If you want, Amy, go re-listen to some of the VOD afterwards, so you don't miss anything. For feminizing, do you need to go as high as possible? I have a fairly small size in your current baseline, but big dog, small dog takes me just a little higher. I would say get good at going as high as you can. That way, when you then go to choose your new voice, you have all the options. Okay? Eventually, I want you to just go, excuse me. So if I bring things back over to my unmodified voice, you'll be going for that lighter weight. So imagine we've got our lighter weight. I want you to literally just go like, So I want you to be able to just move between them. So when you then go into making your voice, you can just pick whatever you want, you know? So yeah, if you're learning big dog, small dog, go just as small as you can go. Another common thing with this is a lot of people will find weird strains happening with this. When I say weird strains, I mean just random stuff straining. For me, I found the back of my neck would strain up as I tried to do this. And that was because I was pushing for as small as possible, and then I tried to push further, but I was already at the max. And so I was like just straining a random muscle. It's kind of like, this is a new movement that you're not really very good at yet, that you haven't really done much before. And so your brain is like, oh, I know it's somewhere over here, but I'm not really sure what it is. So instead of like using like a sniper precision on the muscle movements, it's just kind of shotgun firing. And it's just like, there's something over there in your neck. There's something there in the general vicinity. All you guys do a thing. So sometimes your brain will do that, where it's not really sure what to do, so it just kind of shotgun fires a bunch of stuff. We're only changing one thing. It's just our larynx going up and down. You shouldn't feel that this is physically difficult. You shouldn't feel that this is straining. It should just be like you'll barely, in terms of sensation, you'll barely feel it. Okay? Really, you want to focus on the sound. Does it sound like how I did it, or is there some weird strain going on? Or do you feel a muscle tightening? Okay? If you feel a muscle tightening, try to relax it so you can separate those two things. Okay? And while we're on size and resonance stuff, okay, while we're on larynx movement in general, so the reason that you can do this is because of swallowing. When we swallow, look what happens to my larynx when I swallow. Okay, did you hear? It should have gone up, down, and back again. Okay, up, down, and then reset. So this is part of the reason you can move your larynx is so that you're capable of swallowing. A exercise that people did do years ago was the swallow and hold method. The idea was you would do the beginning of your swallow, so your larynx would raise, and then you just keep it there. Problem. Your larynx moving isn't the only thing that happens when you swallow. A whole bunch of things happen when you swallow. Your larynx shuts off. You have a piece of cartilage called the epiglottis, and it just closes off the larynx so that when you swallow, anything that you're swallowing goes down the food hole and not down to your lungs and you start choking. Okay? So for a start, we're freaking closing off the larynx in total, which is not helpful for us talking. And we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff with our tongue. We're doing all sorts of stuff when we swallow. Okay? So you really don't want to be doing the swallow and hold because we've got so many other muscles happening and you're not really meant to talk through a swallow. Hence, like, if you try to breathe when you're swallowing something, you normally choke. So you're not really built to be talking during a swallow. So usually, it's very, very common that people have, like, vocal injuries and stuff from doing swallow and hold. I have seen some people on YouTube suggesting swallow and hold. I've even got some people that charge for lessons that teach swallow and hold. It's really, really bad, okay? Anybody that ever tells you swallow and hold, that's not even a red flag. That's a black flag. You run, okay? They are a bad teacher and you should not go back to them. Swallow and hold is outdated. Nobody uses it anymore. It's not good for you. Is it normal for your larynx to not raise much? About 50 millimeters, you can barely see it left, but you think you're getting the correct effect. Probably not. If your larynx isn't moving at all, like, I don't really want you focusing on your larynx. I want you focusing on the sound. However, it can be a good test to see if you're doing the right thing. Your larynx should move about as much as mine did. So, like, if I bring mine back to my unmodified, I put, like, my middle finger on my Adam's apple, my index above it, my pinky finger below it, okay? And then I bring up my resonance as high as I can. It goes to just above my index finger. If it's moving about 50 millimeter, and if sus our Wiffwolf, I can't say that, that's a tongue twister. If that person is correct in that 50 millimeter is about an inch, then that sounds about right. Like a bit more than a finger. 1.6 centimeters. Yeah. Well, 1.5 centimeters, but yeah. Oh, you're saying an inch is 1.6 centimeters. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that sounds about right then. Like what? Your whole throat is only like, what, like 4 inches? Oh no, that's more, that's about 6 inches, isn't it? No, that's like 4 inches. I don't know, man. Yeah, so to show you, just to see my camera, here's like the full range of motion that I have, okay? This is me at my like tippity top larynx height, tippity top right now, This is me at
my absolute lowest. Absolute lowest, okay? So there's your range of motion.
Okay? That's what you're looking for. Or something similar. But you should focus on the sound. If it's making the sound I'm making, it's the right sound. Okay? Okay, any other questions? You don't notice too much sound difference. You should definitely notice a big sound difference. Like listen to the sound difference in mine. Like that's a huge sound difference. Okay?
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Jago, that is pitch stuff, okay? Jago says, when you raise yours, you end up going from around C2-ish to C4-ish. That's all pitch stuff. That has nothing to do with what we're doing right now. You might just habitually be raising your pitch a little bit. Your pitch does not matter here. It's completely irrelevant. It can do, you could go to any pitch, to any pitch. It has nothing to do with our larynx height. Unfortunately, there is no app that can tell you where your larynx is going. In theory, you can kind of do it with a spectrogram, but even that isn't like perfectly one-to-one. But yeah, you'll notice. Okay, so if you notice that your pitch is going up all the time, try just do the exercise and then try to go lower in pitch without dropping your larynx. And you'll notice that these things are totally separate. So you can try doing something like this. Think of like Phantom of the Opera, like. I don't remember how Phantom of the Opera goes, but you get the idea. Or like. You see how my pitch is moving, but my larynx is staying the same, okay? My resonance is consistent. Yeah, there you go. So your larynx height stuff is going to be like resonance stuff, okay? Pitch stuff, totally separate. Okay, so those are our main adjusters. Now, one thing you will find is when you raise your larynx, you might find yourself accidentally going heavier because it's just a bit harder to be light while your larynx is raised, and the same vice versa. They make each other harder, which is annoying, but it is what it is. In linguistics, if you hear the term cursive transvoice, that's what they're referring to. They're referring to the fact that putting these things together is just kind of difficult, but possible. So what you want to be thinking about is this little graph here that I've got over there somewhere. Yes, that is correct. Over there, okay? There's a graph. All right? Fullness is the concept that when your weight is in balance with your when your weight is in balance with your larynx height, okay, your glottal quotient is in balance with your larynx height or your resonance, things sound more quote unquote full. Okay? The further you move away from full, the more they sound cartoonish. Okay? You can have a full fem, you can have a full mask, but as we drift in just one of those things, they get more cartoonish. Okay? For example, right now, I have a reasonably full fem. It's maybe slightly hollow, but it's very much in that quadrant of full fem. Okay? As I start only moving my larynx without moving my quotient, okay?
And now I sound much dopier. I sound almost cartoonish, okay? You probably don't hear anybody in your normal life that talks like this. you might have heard cartoon characters talk like this, okay? So like Yogi Bear kind of talks like this. I'm smarter than the average bear, okay? Or, hi, I'm Patrick. I don't do a very good Patrick impression, but he speaks with a more hollow voice, more underfull, okay? Or like if I add a little bit of breathiness and I speak in good British. Now I kind of sound a little bit more like Pooh Bear. Oh, I do love honey. Christopher Robin.
Reminds me of Eeyore. I don't remember how Eeyore sounds, but maybe he sounds hollow too. Okay, or if I move to the other end, okay, if I go over full, all right, so I have a raised larynx, but I have a really heavy, buzzy, close quotient, okay? Now I'm going to kind of sound a lot more like this, all right? This is a much more like SpongeBob kind of sounds like this. You'll hear like the cartoon nerd kind of sounds like this, or like a gnome or an elf or something like that. They kind of sound a bit more like this, all right? So that's our overfull kind of thing, all right? Whereas if things are in balance, okay, I've got that raised larynx and the open quotient. Now things sound like a normal person voice, okay? And if I have a lowered larynx with a closed quotient, things still sound like a normal human voice. But when I move over to here, they get cartoonish. Or when I move over to here, they get cartoonish, okay? So we want to just make sure that things are in the quadrants that they're meant to be in. I don't need you to have a perfectly full voice, but reasonably full, okay? It can be a bit hollow, it can be a little over full, and depending on like the country you live in and the geography, that can like affect, or like just in different cultures, in different geographies, people tend to sit in different places on this graph, but they'll still be in the relative quadrant, okay? Almost every woman you'll hear will be in the quadrant of full femme. In the UK, for a little closer to hollow while still being full femme. In Latino countries, I can speak for Brazil, I can speak for Spain, maybe Portugal too. I know they tend to be a bit more closer to overfull while still being in that full femme quadrant. I don't know masculine voices as well. But yeah, so you will find there is some variation, but as long as you're in that quadrant, okay, that's fine. Any questions about fullness? It's a reasonably simple topic, but it can be confusing for people, so. Freaking leather jacket. I need to like iron this down so that it stops doing that. I'm hiding my Dodie shirt. You feel like people with a Scouse accent are probably closer to overfull than hollow? Yeah, maybe. I think I've definitely heard people that are like that. It's been ages since I've heard anyone Scouse. I'm not a fan of a Scouse accent myself. Any other questions about fullness? Or does everybody feel like they understand it? Androgyny and fullness, how do you navigate that? Yeah, that's a tricky one. It's going to be a matter of exploration. Androgynous voice is inherently tricky because nobody really gets that without training. Like you're not like assigned non-binary at birth. That's not like a thing. Okay? Everybody is either exposed to testosterone or not exposed to testosterone. So for androgyny, you're going to have to just have a bit of an explore. Play around until you get the voice you're happy with. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not easier than that. But just, yeah, have a little play around until you get where you're happy with. Yeah, you're right. Spain isn't Latino. It's Hispanic. You're completely correct there. No, I know where Spain is, Dory. I'm just overusing the word Latino. The word I'm looking for is Hispanic, not Latino. Where does Latino is that just South America? Or does that include like Mexico? Is Mexico South America? No, Mexico is definitely North America, I'm pretty sure. In terms of like the continents. I don't know geography, man. Yeah, is Latin America specifically South America? Or Mexico is south of North America? Yeah, yeah. So does Mexico count as Latin America or no? Is Latin America the continent of South America? I teach you something, you teach me something. Yeah, Latin America equals South America. Oh, but Misty thinks it does count as Latin America. Who knows? Something to Google later. Okay, yeah, what I meant is Hispanic. I can't speak for all Hispanic countries, but I definitely know that Spain, typically, you'll have a bit more overfull, and Portugal and Brazil, just from the voices I've heard. Although that is my subjective experience, so take that with a pinch of salt. Puerto Rico is in North America. I didn't know that. Okay, let's not get derailed. Let's keep going. Okay, we have done all the trans voice stuff. Well done. You just transed your voice. Good job. I'm so proud of you. Amazing. Well done. You're freaking so cool. Okay, now that we have figured out how to produce feminine, masculine, androgynous voices, now let's figure out your gender affirming voice. Okay, the voice that you're going to have. Okay, so there's loads of, like, there's probably an infinite list of different things your voice can be doing. Okay, and different elements that can be incorporated into a voice. But these are some of the common ones that people like to play with. So, vocal fry, you hear in my voice sometimes. Especially the later the workshop goes, the more you'll hear some vocal fry. Because when I'm tired, I tend to have a bit more of it. But I also just tend to have a little bit of vocal fry. Vocal fry, if I'm like 100% of the time using vocal fry, it sounds like this. You have the crackly sound going on. There's lots of like popping in the voice, okay? Like if I just go, you can hear like tons and tons of pops, okay? That's vocal fry. I tend to have it at like the end of my sentences and certain words in the middle sometimes. Some people like to use that. It's quite a popular one. Excuse me. Vocal fry also tends to sound kind of effortful. I think people just confuse it with quotient a lot. And you can take advantage of that confusion. A neat little trick is as you go down in pitch, or really down in anything, as things just get closer to mask, you can add a little bit of vocal fry, and it can sound like what you're doing is really difficult for you, even though it's not, okay? So you can go like, every time, imagine like this is your pitch floor. We could say every time we go here, we're gonna add some fry, okay? And it's gonna seem like that's our pitch floor, okay? It's like a false bottom, okay? So we could go like, and then every time we go like down here, we can have a little bit of vocal fry, and every time we bring up again, now I have no vocal fry, but oh my god, it's so hard for me to go down here, even though I could go like really, really, really down if I wanted to, okay? So you can just pretend that like just a little bit down, or even just like a decent bit down, okay? If I get over to like here, this, if I always add fry whenever I go over here, it'll sound like this is the bottom of my pitch, okay? Even though it isn't. We can kind of take advantage of people being misinformed about voice. So there's a funky little thing that people like. That's for the feminizers. Also, pitch, I put in the customization bit. Technically, pitch is like kind of gendered. I consider it like gendered 0.5. On average, women tend to have higher pitches. On average, men tend to have lower pitches. That said, if you are like moving away from that, it's not going to really change the gendering of your voice. Like if you are a high-pitched masculine speaker, you'll just sound like a high-pitched masculine speaker. Or if you're a low-pitched feminine speaker, you'll just sound like a low-pitched feminine speaker. I'm a low-pitched feminine speaker. My pitch drops into the like typical masc range all the time. I probably sit in like an androgynous space in terms of pitch, but that shows how like little pitch has to do with gendering your voice. It's just almost nothing. I call it gendered 0.5. There are the effects on your weight or your quotient that I mentioned earlier. So we can't be too low in our pitch as a femme speaker, only because our voice would cut out because we have that lighter weight. But it's the weight there that's the gendered thing, not the pitch. They happen to be linked. The pitch itself, it doesn't matter in terms of the gendering. Does that make sense? I hope that's like a clear enough explanation. Okay, another common thing that people like is breathiness. So people don't tend to go, this insanely breathy, but this will like demonstrate it for you, okay? But people do sometimes enjoy like a little bit of breathiness, just like this. Yeah, this is sometimes a popular thing that some people enjoy. So if you like that, you can have a little bit of breathiness going in there. Some people quite like the combination of going like a little bit lower in your pitch, having a little bit of breathiness in there. Some people quite like that in a feminine voice. So that might be you. Maybe you want to try that. If we want to expand our pitch range, do we just like try talking higher and lower? Yeah, that's it. Do singing exercises work for speaking? Yeah, 100%. Singing is just like harder speaking, essentially. Like it's speaking with more steps. So singing exercises are massively going to help you with speaking stuff. That's why you might find a lot of vocal teachers started in singing. I'm like one of the only people that I've met that didn't start in singing. I suck at singing. But those who are really good at singing and have like studied singing tend to pick up voice gender stuff, trans voice stuff, like really quickly. Because they've probably gone over a bunch of it already in their singing stuff. But yeah, expanding your pitch range is just going to be exactly how you think it is. Go higher, go lower. Expand as you go. It's going to be a matter of control. Okay, twang is another one that some people quite like. It will help project your voice a bit more, but it does also change the sound quite a lot. And in some regions, this is going to be more common than others. To explore twang, we can literally just like imagine you're a cartoon baby and you're gonna like cry like a cartoon baby, like wee, wee. Okay, then we're gonna keep that like squeakiness in our voice right now. Okay, now I have a whole bunch of twang. Okay, so this is what twang sounds like. Some people use it more than others in their voice. It's not super common, although it is more common in certain accents. So like south of North America, like Texas and stuff, they tend to have a little bit of twang going on. I'm not a very good Texan accent, so excuse me for being a terrible accent person. But yeah, south of North America tends to have a little bit more twang going on. Okay, I'm so sorry to any Texan fools listening there. I am British, after all. Okay, and then the accent itself. Everybody has their own slightly individualized accent, their regional dialects and stuff. So your accent is a huge part of your voice. And obviously that has a lot of things going on in it. If you're worried about your accent, listen to people from the region that you want to sound like and mimic it. If you just want to sound like, if you want to retain your accent and you're struggling with that for whatever reason, then just listen to the people around you that have your target voice and listen to the accent. Yeah, no worries, Lismara. Yeah, that I think sums up customization stuff. Does anybody have any questions about that? You don't even know what your accent is, not gonna lie. Ask someone around you. Somebody you'll know. Your nan made sure, okay, if you're saying nan, then somewhere English. Your nan made sure you don't end up with a Scouse accent, so now you're in limbo. Oh, you might be like me. So like I have a British accent. It's very obvious that I'm British, but it's probably hard to figure out where in Britain I sound like. I don't really have much of a regional accent. I just sound generally vaguely British. Jago, by all means, try to guess what does my accent sound like, because I don't even know the answer to that. I just say vaguely British. One struggle you might have with accent is just a lot of voice teachers. I don't know why this is, but they all seem to be from the West Coast of America. I have no idea why. But like, I think I've come across 2 other vocal teachers that aren't West Coast America. Everyone else is West Coast America. I have no idea why. So if you're finding yourself going like Valley Girl or stuff, that might literally just be because, because the people you're listening to have that accent. The Valley Girl accent is not inherent to like anything to do with trans voice. So you don't need that. It's all good. I vaguely remind you of Icky. Oh my gosh. If I sound like Icky, then goals achieved. Okay. That's crazy. Oh my God, chat. That's crazy. That's my best Icky impression. I think she sounds slightly more south than I do, but I don't know. She definitely doesn't have a Brummie accent. Because obviously she's from Birmingham. Yeah. Okay, any more questions about customization stuffs? A lot of similarities and some small differences. That makes sense. An American who can't tell British accents apart. We sound identical. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. In fairness, all you Americans sound identical to us as well. We have American South. We have West Coast. Oh no, East Coast. We have wherever Seattle is. And Cali. We have, okay. As a British person, there are 2 American accents. There is Texas and there is Mean Girls. And you're one of those 2. Hollywood accent, that is just Mean Girls to me. I can't distinguish those. It's like Mean Girls, but less Mean Girls. Mean Girls -2. Okie dokie. I'm not seeing any more questions about customization. So we'll move on to finishing up our workshop. We'll give some thank yous and stuff. You placed me closer to south and north. Interesting. I will neither confirm nor deny, for I do not want to be doxxed. I've moved around a lot, so I think my accent just kind of ended up higgledy-piggledy. It's definitely nothing like Liverpool. Yeah, I'll give you that. Okay, so huge, amazing, special thanks to our Ko-fi supporters. They are the lifeblood of our community. You right now, you are hearing this and you are receiving this information because people support at the Ko-fi. In fact, the support of our Ko-fi allowed me to hire a makeup and beauty professional. So now we have one of those, okay? If you see Beans in my Discord, okay? Their name's Lee. They're here because people supported at Ko-fi, which is insane. Like, we provide an extra service because of Ko-fi people, like directly because of that. I couldn't have hired them unless people supported at Ko-fi. So that's huge, okay? So huge thank you to our tier 1 supporters. Red Kitten, M, Me Huggy, Himori. Oh my gosh, 2 people. Thank you so much, okay? Red has left. Red was here earlier. Red was in the YouTube earlier. And in the Trans Network call, okay? Huge thank you to you people. All right, that's like insane that you support us financially. Like, that's super crazy, okay? Tier 2 supporter, Lan Misa. Seriously? You crazy girl. Okay? That's, yeah. It means the world, okay? And our 1 tier free supporter, Beth. Beth, you are literally like the lifeblood of our community. Thank you so much for supporting. And thank you for doing so much. For you people at home, okay? This is brought to you by the Ko-fi supporters. So one, freaking send your thanks to them. And also, if you would like to help support at the Ko-fi, I don't have a ton of uploads there because I'm in my teacher training and I just don't have the time. But I do want to be uploading more stuff over there. I don't do any voice stuff because I want to keep that free and accessible to everybody. But we do just general like me stuff. I have a video there where I do like a big rant on the state of like trans voice care at the moment, or gender affirming voice care, sorry, because it's like the standards are in hell. And I have a whole video talking about how mad I am at SLPs and other vocal coaches, how they don't have good standards. Half of them don't even know why we do what we do. They just have a series of exercises that they don't understand and then they tell you to do them. It's really sad. So if you want to hear me rant more about that, you can head over to the Ko-fi. We also recently did a big giveaway there where I gave away a consultation with Lee. And yeah, we'll probably have Q&As and stuff in the future and all sorts. So yeah, huge thanks to everybody that supports at the Ko-fi. And if you want to help bring more stuff like this, support at the Ko-fi. It makes a huge difference. Oh my gosh, thank you, Lismara, for linking it. Yes, ko-fi.com/transnetwork. The link is below these two links. So yeah, huge thank you to everybody that supports over there, because it genuinely makes a huge difference. And the more that people support, the more I can add more services. Our current goal is if we can hit the equivalent of £500 a month, then I will add another workshop a week. Because I can have a day off a week. So that can be a workshop as well as a bunch of lessons. We can like double the lessons that we do if people support. So yeah, huge, big stuff. Thank you so much to our Ko-fi supporters. Okay, also an extra special thanks to Crammed Voice Lessons over at Singuistics, Charles. Okay, thank you so much, Charles, for training me right now. Charles is giving us free teacher training. So if you head over to Singuistics, you'll see I have a role teacher apprentice or apprentice teacher. That's because I'm in the current cohort of people being trained. We're currently on week 3. Week 4 starts tomorrow. So if you want, you can sit in on my training. You can be there and listen to me being trained and see that happening. Head over, join Singuistics. You'll see teacher training as one of the events. You can sit in on it and shadow it. And you get to ask questions and stuff. So that's really good. And I recommend Singuistics to everybody. It's a really good server. You'll learn a lot there. They use much more sciencey language, but I have prepared you for that. So they're going to use words like quotient, they're not going to use weight. They're going to use words like larynx height, they're not going to use resonance, okay? But I prepared you, you know what that means, okay? Head over there, you will learn so much. There is so much going on there. I super recommend the Trans Voice practice lounge. That's like a really good way of practicing. They'll do like a specific drill, and they'll just focus on that drill and re-drilling all the time. So like big dog, small dog is going to be one they'll do, or the quotient drills like the pitch psi thing or the grave thing, depending which way you're going. Yeah, super recommend that. The Trans Voice practice lounge, really good resource. I can't recommend that enough. You should definitely go to that if you're trying to get better. Yeah, okie dokie. I think we got everything. We did it. Oh my gosh. That is the Trans Network workshop. Okay? All right. I did that wrong way around. So, who has questions? And does anybody want some one-on-one work? Okay. The way we do this is essentially whoever speaks first gets to go first. Not quite yet. because I'm going to pop to the toilet. But before I pop to the toilet, just get yourselves ready. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. And if anybody wants to like go out loud, unmuted, and get a bit of one-on-one help, then I'll absolutely help with that. So I'll be right back. You get yourselves ready for that. Okie dokie. All right, let me read through and then I'll invite somebody to go. You definitely want to find time to join a lounge? Yeah, that's super, super good. Wait for tomorrow's? Yeah, I think tomorrow, 2 p.m. UTC or GMT, they have a Trans Voice Lounge. Super recommend it. It's awesome. And my friend Winter is going to be helping with that. She's one of the other apprentices. So yeah, definitely check that one out. That's going to be a really good one. Oh my gosh, and I should also say, not this Sunday, but the Sunday afterwards, 2 p.m. GMT, I'm going to be helping hosting one of them. So I'm going to host one of the Trans Voice Lounges. You should definitely go to that. It's going to be really, really fun. Yeah, 100% check that out. Did we happen to meet on VRC last night? Not last night, but you might have. I was there Thursday night, and I do recognize you, so I think I saw you Thursday. Maybe. Okie dokie. So, starting from right now, whoever speaks next gets to go next. Who wants some one-on-one help?
So,
Hello.
mainly, just mainly, I'm feminizing my voice. I am, give me 1 second. I am here at the moment, and I'm trying to, I can't exactly tell exactly which direction I want to take it, but I know I'm not very close to the more femme voice yet.
Okay. Do you know what you did? Just to check.
It's mainly raising the pitch, softening it out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard. So your pitch went up is the main thing, and there was a little bit of softening as well. So let's start off. We'll do, because you're new to this, we'll just start off on some quotient stuff. So I'm going to demonstrate, and then you're going to do a drill with me, okay? So we're going to start off really heavy, really buzzy at a lower pitch. And then we're going to slide up, going lighter as we go. And once you're nice and light, you'll slide it down again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, give that a go. Oh, sorry. Let me pause you 1 second. You need to change your Discord settings. This will apply to everybody that wants to volunteer. Check your user settings. Go into voice and video. Scroll down. You'll see input sensitivity. Make sure you turn that to grey. So you turn that off automatic. And then set it all the way to the left. Okay? Then if you keep scrolling
Sorry, where's that at? Sorry, I just went to my settings. Where's that at?
So settings, voice and video. Scroll down just a little bit and you'll see input sensitivity. So switch it to manual. It'll go grey. and then set the slider all the way to the left. It will say minus 100 decibels, okay? And it should stay there. Okay? And then once you've done that, scroll down from there, quite far down, and you'll eventually find noise suppression, okay? It'll be crisp, standard, or none. You want to set it to none, okay? And then you can come back out your settings again. Okay? You'll notice that in each of the Discords, my green box is always lit up. That's because my settings are correct. So Discord is going to think you're talking all the time if your settings are correct. It looks like, Knife, your settings look good.
Alright, I'll try that again.
Go for it.
Hold on, do I have more water? No, I'm out of water. Oh well.
Okay, as you're going down at the end there, you brought that weight back in. I want you to keep that lightness, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep that gentleness.
It's about as low as I can get it with keeping the lightness.
Yeah, okay, that's fine then. We'll stick to there for now, okay? In time, you'll get better at that, but that's fine for now, okay? So once more.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me the numbers. I need to hear you talk with it as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you hear how the buzziness came back in there? So it sounded like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you had that buzziness went straight back in there. That's why we do this test. So again, really watch that lightness, okay? Keep it really light, even as we go into the talking, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Really gentle.
1, 2, 3, 4.
That was nice. That was really nice and gentle. Okay, so now we're going to make things a bit harder, okay? You can do the exact same drill that you just did, but instead of saying 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to ask you a question for you to answer. The question is going to be... you joined us from Trans Academy. How did you find Trans Academy? Where did you come from? You can answer that question, do the drill first, and answer it in that lighter weight. Okay? Go for it.
Right.
And watch you don't get heavy.
I found this from Zeal's channel on YouTube.
Did you notice that? As you said,
yeah, I
channel,
did.
YouTube, especially YouTube, was much, much heavier. Okay? So watch.
Yeah, I noticed it right at the end.
Yeah? Good. Okay, that's really important that you noticed that. Mistakes are totally fine. Mistakes are good, in fact, because mistakes are learning opportunities, so long as you notice them. If you didn't notice it, that's a problem. But you noticed it, which is really good. Okay, so that's going to be your practice, okay? I want you to stick with that. Just stick with that one drill. Don't worry about anything else for now. Get really good at that and practice that over the next couple of weeks, okay?
Right, I can run that drill some more then on my own. I gotta go get some water.
Yeah, that's fine. You practice that on your own. That is your homework. Okie dokie. Misty, you want to go next? Go for it.
Hello.
Hello. How can I help you?
Well, there's nothing really specifically, I think. But I just wanted to check in because it's been a while. And I've actually had quite a bit of time to practice on my own. Still haven't talked to people in real life with it, but we've had a lot of like gaming lobbies with some of my online friends, so some of them up to like 12 hours. So I've had plenty of time to do that. And
Cool. How do you feel about it?
pretty good. I don't think my voice has really changed all that much since since like a couple months ago, but it's mostly like I've been getting better at just doing it for a while. Because normally, like it would sound good at the start, and then like after like even just a few minutes, it would just not sound good anymore.
Yeah, so that's
And
just going to be a practice thing. I would recommend for you, okay, this is where things get scary. I think you're going to most benefit from changing up your environment a bit. So doing stuff in your VCs is amazing, and I encourage you to keep doing that. That's really, really good. I would also encourage you, if you can, to try and do some stuff in real life. Whether it's even just at your home, just talking out loud, that's going to be really good for you. If you're down
I
to
do
use
talk
your
to
voice for
myself.
talking to other people, that's going to be huge. I think that's your next step.
Yeah. I mean, I do that, just not with other people. So like when I'm like driving to work, I'll just like come up with random
Yeah.
conversations with myself. It's just I've never actually talked to anyone else in real life with it before.
Yeah. So I think you're ready for that step. Now I'm going to warn you ahead of time what's going to happen. Okay. That whole things getting weird after a few minutes. That's going to be like every other sentence. Okay. It's gonna, even if other people don't notice it, you're probably going to notice things going a little bit weird. If you just keep at it, it'll stabilize. It's one of those things where your brain is like, now things are like feeling a bit more under pressure because you're doing it in real life, and just people tend to get a bit unstable. I found for me it took about a month for that to go away, and then now my voice pretty much never changes, and I'm pretty good all the time. But like before, my voice was all over, especially when I first started using this full time. Like the first couple of weeks were hell. My voice was everywhere. It sounded horrendous. And other people would notice it too. So do prepare yourself for that. Maybe start with people you trust or whatever. Or if you're down to just freaking start it and you can sound a bit weird and who cares, great, amazing. That's going to be like the best thing. But yeah, for you, I reckon start using it. Let's go.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is actually like finding someone I can talk with that voice. Because like I'm still a man in real life. I don't really want to change that. It's more of like a
Okay.
having more options. So
Do
yeah,
you play D&D? For any like real life people?
no, I wanted to, but I don't really know anyone that does.
See if you can maybe like, I don't know, play a game of D&D online or something so you can like get a feel for it if you haven't already. And then maybe you could host one, you know, maybe you can DM. DMing is going to be a great opportunity for you to have like a whole bunch of characters so you can switch around your voice and do like a whole bunch of different things if that's something you want to try. Yeah, that can be a good excuse. Or it could be like, I don't know, it could be like your cool little trick that you do over at Theatre Club if you wanted to do something like that. There's lots of like opportunities we can have where we can sort of pretend that this is just a cool thing we do and it's nothing to do with trans stuff, even if it is to do with trans stuff in reality. Or if you actually isn't anything to do with trans stuff and this is just a fun thing for you, then try that too. Yeah. How does that
Yep,
sound?
that's a good idea. Although I will have to go out of my way to find people like that because I'm an engineer, so like everyone around me is like, it's also like 90% men. So
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, not exactly the
less
easiest
arts
place to
going
find
on.
people that are cool with that. But yeah, I could
that's fair
probably
enough. That's
find
fair
some people
enough.
like that.
Well, yeah, I think that's the next step for you. And you might find it's a bit difficult at first, but in time, that'll go away. In terms of how you feel about your voice right now, you said you feel good about it. Is there anything that you don't like, or are you just totally happy with it now?
I don't know. It really just depends. Like sometimes I don't know exactly what the problem is. I think it's mostly like brightness and sharpness and stuff like that. But most of my problems with it are actually not even trans related. It's like talking too fast, pronouncing things weird. So yeah, that's like just other stuff entirely. But I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're happy with it, that's what it's all about. So I think you're good. I think you're ready.
All right. Well, some of my friends have another lobby going on right now, actually. So
Yeah.
I'm
Go
gonna head out.
use it.
I will
Go.
See you next time.
Go use it. Go. Leave us. Thanks for swinging by, Misty. Okie dokie. Whoever speaks next gets to go next. Also, I notice a little me huggy over in Chan's voice, so I'm gonna do a little bit of a. We're gonna embarrass me huggy for a moment. Oh my gosh, me huggy, you're one of the people that support us financially. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, me huggy. Everybody go thank and give love to me huggy. Okay, I'll stop embarrassing you. Okay, yeah, whoever speaks next gets to go next. Yeah, if you have questions in chat, you can just write them in chat. Right now we're in the one-on-one section, so if people need help one-on-one, then they can just go for it. The policy is whoever speaks next.
I believe.
Hello. Okay, Sus,
No,
Go ahead.
Sus, you can go first.
no, no.
Gaming Gothic, you can go
I'm
second.
sorry. I believe. I was just unmuting to say that I believe that Gaming Gothic like booped you.
Oh, okay,
That's fine.
fair
Go
enough.
ahead.
No. No, you go.
All right.
Okay.
I have a simple question or something about vocal fry. So this is my male voice at the moment, doesn't matter. The question is, I learned vocal fry and multiple things from other teachers about vocal frying and stuff like that. Problem is, I cannot use this on my main language due to the fact that they don't have it.
Got ya. Okay.
So how do I do the English voice now, what I have, into my German voice, what you will not understand, but I could say the same things, but
Okay.
it breaks apart. How would I fix it?
Wait, sorry,
What do
can
you
you repeat the problem that's happening?
The problem is English voice is fine, German voice is not. Because of the vocal fry and the applying things I did on the English voice does not apply on the German version,
Okay,
on the main
so
language.
vocal fry stuff, I have no idea. I don't know German. I would imagine you are still capable of doing vocal fry. I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. But I don't know enough about
We
German.
have, but only in singing. Yeah, we have, but only in singing. Technically, if you sing
Okay.
like Rammstein, for example, and it says "Du hast," there it is.
Yeah.
But if you say just the words
du
itself,
hast.
it's just "Du hast."
Yeah.
Then you just "Du hast." That's the German if "Du hast." That's it, and there's no vocal fry in it. So how the fuck would I say that if you have it? There is vocal fry in this, for example, again.
Okay, so vocal fry isn't inherently a trans voice thing. If you're wanting to add
Yes.
more vocal fry, how
I want to get rid of it. I want to get rid of it technically. Like I need to relearn the German version of my voice. I
Oh,
think.
you're wanting to not use vocal fry in German.
Yeah, because we don't have it.
I
We don't
understand.
use it.
I understand. So when you go into German, is the vocal fry there?
Yes. I mean, it's
I
breaking
understand
apart.
that.
I'm trying to do the voice.
I
but
understand.
it's-
Okay, so what you want to do is we need to build you some more control of your vocal fry. Okay? What you're going to do is, and we may as well just keep this in German, being as that's what you're trying to use for it. Go crazy with your vocal fry. Like, really go, like, all the way. Like, huge amounts of vocal fry saying
how
it,
to
okay?
do it.
And then try to remove it again, okay? And we're going to build that conscious control. Whenever there's something where we're struggling with it, do more of the thing that's wrong. Because at least if we're going more, we're controlling it. If we can go more, we should be able to go back again, okay? Even if you're not completely removing it, let's just get that little bit of movement, okay? Then as we develop more and more control, we should eventually be able to take it away entirely. So, give me some German, give me some crazy amounts of vocal fry.
German vocal fry in which version? Fem or male? It doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't matter.
Like, what's the German? Which sentence I can take? I just take the Rammstein song text technically. That's the best one, or just anything
go
in
for it.
German. Du hast mich super lieb. Ich hab dich nicht lieb. For example.
More
that's-
vocal fry.
that's
I want to go
the
even
deepest.
crazier. I want like.
I don't know how to be honest.
Du hast
Du hast mich lieb. Hallo, wie geht's dir? Hallo, hallo, hallo.
Perfect. Now try to take some away.
I mean, then I just talk in my normal German voice, I think, and that's the easy part. But hallo, 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 there's none. Hallo, du hast mich, du hast mich, du hast mich. There you go.
There you go. You removed it.
Pretty much. Question. I just need to get it to my fem voice, to be honest. That's
Okay,
the only
so let's do it
problem.
in fem voice now.
I mean, in English, it's my English one is. I can
Stay in
give you my
German.
English
We're
one.
staying in
and
German
see
right
if you-
now. So, fem,
Fuck.
German, du hast, super fry.
Du hast mich lieb. Du hast
Okay.
mich lieb. Du hast-
First thing I'm noticing, our feminized, we haven't raised our larynx very much.
Higher, I guess.
So I want more of a raised
Higher,
larynx. So for that big dog, small dog, I want that small dog, okay? Du hast.
Du hast.
Can I hear
Du
that big dog,
hast
small
mich-
dog again?
I do not know what it is. Never did it.
Oh,
Never did-
okay.
I don't
You missed.
always get
Okay, you missed that bit.
3, 2,
earlier.
1. I'm doing the 3, 2, 1 instead. Like for me, it's if I go into fem voice, I do it in my head 3, 2, 1, and then it's just starting pretty much.
Okay, you
But
need
that's
a
the
drill
English
then.
version.
So, two things. I'll run you through the drill real quick, but also I super recommend if you rewind the VOD, youtube.com/@trans_network. Rewind, there's like a whole section on larynx. It's going to be really useful for you. But I'll go through the drill with you now as well. So, what I want you to do is pant like a really big dog, okay?
Like that. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure if the mic is picking it up.
Yeah. Check your settings.
Yeah,
It was
I
picking
do
it up,
Chris
weirdly
once
enough.
again.
But you want to go settings,
I'm
voice
doing-
and video.
Yeah, Chris. I know.
You know the stuff? Yeah, so input sensitivity and noise suppression needs to be turned off.
Yeah, it's already done.
Cool. Okay, sick. Okay, so big pan.
Like that. Wait, which one right now?
So
Sorry.
you're going to go for a big dog pant again, like a big Labrador or something. Okay, good. Now a small dog, like a Pomeranian or something.
Like that.
Okay. Now bring that into phonation, into a sound. Okay. Nice.
I mean, it depends. I guess.
Stick to ignore. So okay. Two different things going on right now. I'm going to do two things, and I want you to listen to them being different. Tell me which one is larynx. Tell me which one is pitch. Okay.
Right side pitch, I guess, and left side.
Yeah.
The other
So if I
thing.
want to really show you like larynx height changing in terms of how
Yeah.
it changes the sound, it's like as opposed to
That one I know.
Okay. So they're different sounds. I want you to focus on the larynx height. Ignore pitch. Okay. We'll stick to for making this larynx movement. Just keep everything in the big dog, small dog right now. Don't try to change it without using that drill. Okay, just for a moment. Okay, so again, big dog, small dog, into phonation.
Oh, what the fuck? That broke out
That's
of
okay.
air.
Take your time. Nice.
Nah, I'm not
Then
sure.
you went into some pitch stuff. Don't try to change it unless you're in big dog, small dog. Okay. So if you find yourself and you're wanting to go smaller, back to big dog, small dog, and then into speaking again. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add an extra step. Okay. Du hast mich. I don't remember the rest of the words.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So. Du hast mich. Du hast mich gefragt.
That sounds really good. That sounds really, really good. Okay.
I mean, if I go my normal English one, I'm not sure. I didn't show you. Like, if I go normal text, where's
Yeah,
my
go for
text
it.
ones? I'm mostly doing text or something. I just take a thing what I had also from YouTube, obviously. But hey, how you doing? Oh my God, Brian, I hate you. Or that is so weird.
Okay.
For example.
That's. Do you watch Nat by any chance?
Yeah, that's why I just take
Yeah,
that
I
text.
knew
I have
that
many
was
more.
Nat.
I have many more. It depends on which one.
I knew I recognized that voice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's fun.
I
I'm
also
not sure how
enjoy
good
Nat.
that is, though. I do not know how good it is.
Nat is like, I probably don't even transition if I didn't find Nat in Finster. Crazy. Okay, so I want you to focus on using drills. Firstly, on your English one, I think you could get a bit brighter. You're like nearly there, but you're not quite all the way there. But also, I want you to be able to control these individual elements. So when you do other stuff, you have that control. You're doing what I call, or I've stolen this name. A lot of this, okay, this term in particular, I've stolen from Synguistics, okay? Synguistics, they do good stuff.
I've seen it.
Yeah, this is, we call it batch fem, okay? You've just taken all of fem and just kind of mimicked it and just been like, fem voice, okay? I want you to have control of the individual elements so that you can produce fem voice. Does that make sense? So,
Okay.
2 recommendations. 1, just go through the VOD. I'll go through all the elements. You missed that stuff, but like that's going to really help you.
Yeah. Wasn't raids.
Also, use this drill. It seems like your weight control is pretty good. I want you really getting that resonance, and I want like control of that resonance. Okay, use that big dog, small dog. What you're gonna find is as you do more talking. Obviously, we only did a couple of sentences there. As you talk more with that big dog, small dog, you'll find things getting wobbly. You just need to look out for that wobbliness, okay, and just pay attention. All right. Anytime something goes off, big dog, small dog again. It's going to be annoying to re-drill all the time, but it's going to really help you. So re-drill like constantly to a point of silliness, okay? Like every other sentence or whatever. Really drill in how to move your larynx. And then once you get really good at it, you'll be able to produce whatever voice you want to produce. There's also going to be the vocal weight stuff or the glottal quotient stuff. You can go over that if you want to. You sound like you have a pretty good open quotient when you go into your big dog, small dog stuff. So I don't know if you've worked on that yourself or if you just happen to be good at doing that. But that's also
No,
worth
I
looking
mean,
into
I had 8 hours of training beforehand. So
okay.
even more, I think. Even
You
more.
probably went
so
over.
it's I didn't even do the small dog, big dog. It's more about this 3-1 or this or the brrr, or the other things. So the small dog, big dog is something new for me because of the teacher didn't teach me that for sure not.
So it sounds like you did some softy stuff. And maybe you did some quotient stuff, I don't know. For softies, a lot for and all of that sort of stuff.
In my English one, I was also more talking already. I'm just not using it often.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
the
totally fine.
problem.
That's totally fine.
I'm
So yeah,
like-
for your
I'm like
resonance,
using
I would stick to big dog, small dog. It's a really good exercise, and I think you're going to benefit a lot from it.
All right.
All right, good stuff. Okay, who's next? Speak next to go next. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jago. I didn't see that. They're quite quiet on stream. Even on the YouTube stream. They should be at full volume on YouTube. I don't know. Like, that's at max. For people of the other Discords, it just is a bit quieter. I'm working on a solution to that, but I need some software to do that. Yeah, Discord kind of iffy. It essentially has to just hear it through the speaker. It be what it be. I had some software and I freaking had to reset my Windows because my shit was bugging out. And now I don't have it. And I need to like remember what it was called and like reinstall all of that. It's like voice something banana. Banana was like the version. I need to re-download that. Voice Meter. Yeah, that was it. Voice Meter. I need to re-download Voice Meter and get that set up. No worries, Gaming Gothic. I think I've seen you. Yeah, you were in the... you showed us your cool makeup stuff. So yeah, if you need some more help from me, just ask questions in the Discord.
Yep. See ya.
Cool. Alrighty. It wasn't that Voice Meter fucked up my Windows. I had other issues. My GPU... Something was freaking out with my GPU, and I reset Windows and fixed it. Anybody else want some help? Speak next to go next.
I guess
Can you hear
it's
me?
my turn.
Evelyn can go first, and then the other person that wasn't Evelyn can go after them. Okay. Evelyn first.
Hello.
Hello. How can I help you?
So I've been practicing for just like a few days now. I'm not sure how this sounds, and now I'm nervous, so I'm sure it sounds worse.
It's okay. It's okay.
What I was told is I need to raise my resonance right now.
Okay. I would say you both need to brighten your resonance and you need to lighten your weight. Okay, so more open quotient and more raised larynx. But you came to me with resonance, so we'll do that. But I usually go for weight first, although it doesn't really matter. Okay, let's do some resonance. So, exact same as what I was just going over with Gaming Gothic. Okay, that big dog, small dog. All right, can you give me a big dog, small dog?
One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
Hang on a second. You are.
Did it not take?
Your sound is cutting out, and I don't know why your sound is cutting out because I can see you should be correct. Is your noise suppression turned off?
I'm on mobile. I don't know.
Oh. I believe they do still have it. Go into your user settings, voice and video, and scroll down. You have to scroll down quite far. Like, it'll go through voice, then it'll go through video, and then it'll go into advanced. And in advanced, as you go down a bit more, eventually you find noise suppression. That wants to be turned to none. But I also don't super know. Other people that know mobile, can you tell me where it is on mobile? There is also normally a button next to the Hangout button, just on the main screen, but I don't know if that's the case on mobile.
Yeah, I turned off audio sensitivity and input sensitivities all the way down.
Yeah, I can tell your input sensitivity is right. I've got a feeling your noise suppression is wrong though. They're like two
I just don't
separate
see the
things.
setting here.
It's in voice under app settings, pretty much same place. Okay, so where your input sensitivity is, scroll down like a whole bunch.
Let's see, echo cancellation, automatic gain control,
Right below
automated voice
echo
activity.
cancellation is noise suppression. Normally.
There is nothing.
There is nothing.
It goes echo cancellation, automatic gain control, advanced voice activity.
It's above echo for Lizmara. So again, what's above your echo cancellation?
Oh, noise suppression. There.
There you go. Perfect. So that needs to be set to none.
All right.
Okay. Let's try again. Big dog, small dog.
One, two, three, four. One, two, three,
Okay.
four.
1, the settings were perfect. We did it. Good shit. 2, I think we can get to a smaller dog than that. And 3, don't skip the phonation test. Okay, so it wants to be like this. Ha. I want that. Ha. And then go into the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, go for it.
One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
So what happened there is we went ha, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We started drifting back again. Okay? So watch for that drift. And also I definitely think we can get to a smaller dog. You're at like a cockapoo right now, and I want you to get to like a chihuahua. Okay? Really go with that, okay? Really small, okay?
One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
Okay, that's a lot better. That's really good. Okay, so keep practicing that. The other thing to look for is you'll notice that yours is a lot buzzier than mine. Yours is like, if I go back over here, I do not normally do this drill while also being heavy, so I might mess this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of like what you sound like right now, okay? So the only thing we need to change here is lightening that vocal weight so we remove that buzz, okay? If you go back on the VOD, go through the exercise of that, that'll help you with that. But do these one at a time. You can pick which one first. either larynx height first or the weight first. Get really good at that, and then add the other one in. Yeah, one at a time. You can pick which way around you want to do it.
All right.
Okay, any questions?
No, thank you.
No? All right, good stuff. Okay, when you're doing that, so that's going to be your homework. I'm setting you homework. That's your homework. And I also want you
not homework
to...
again.
Yeah, you got homework. I also want you to do that while, like, talking. Just talking. So maybe it'll be like... and then I'm going to tell myself about my day. Today I have... when I started my day, I got up and I walked the dog. That was like a 2-hour walk. Then I got back, I made myself some lunch. And yeah, I made my boyfriend's lunch too. And then after lunch, we went shopping, came back home, that's what I want from you, okay? It doesn't have to be telling yourself about your day. It could be anything. Explain to me, whatever it is, just so you're talking out loud. That's
All
your
right.
homework. Okay?
Yep, thank you.
All right, good luck, Evelyn. You got this. Okie dokie. And Lismara, thank you so much for helping there.
Yeah, so
Hello.
can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah, I just generally wanted to ask about help for voice feminization, but the main thing I'm struggling with is actually keeping my voice when talking with my friends, because
Okay.
I talk a lot louder with them, and as soon as I go louder, like my whole configuration just like breaks down. Yeah. Also, your
Okay.
camera went out.
Pardon?
Your camera went out.
Oh, my camera went out. Oh,
anymore.
no. I have... Okay, so my phone is my camera. And the weights... Oh, wait, the whole thing went out. Why did the whole thing go out?
I'll see you.
Wait,
No, it's back.
what? I have no idea why that happened. So that's just for people in Trans Voice. Let me just check everywhere else. Trans Academy, you're still good. Trans Network, you're still good. I must have just accidentally clicked it, I guess. Whoops. Sorry about that. Okay, where was it? Okay, yes. As you're getting louder, things are getting weird. So, all right, we're going to do a little role play. Okay, two things. One, your main thing is going to be practice. Practice lots, get really good control of every element. And then as you get better with that, you're going to practice being loud. It's essentially going to be, for you, it's just going to be, we'll do a little role play and we'll go through some stuff.
Okay.
But you're just going to practice being loud. When you notice something going off, you have been feminizing your voice, I can tell. I assume you know the different elements, like your resonance and your weight or whatever terms your teacher has been using. So modify those when you hear them go wrong, okay? While being loud. All right,
Okay.
so role play. We are at a busy car
flatmate.
park, okay?
Okay.
We're at a busy car park. You've just noticed me and I haven't seen you, okay? You want to get my attention. Hey, hey Zara, hey Zara, over here,
Hey, over here. Hey, I'm right here. Can you see me?
That sounds pretty good.
Okay.
That sounds pretty good.
I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just my resonance just suddenly shifting when I actually talk with my friends. I don't know what it is exactly.
So
and
it could
maybe
be
it's
another
just,
thing as well. What I was talking to Misty about earlier is there is this thing that happens where when we're learning stuff, especially stuff with our voice, when we change our environment, weird shit can happen. Your brain is real lazy. And so it's like, oh, we're in our sit-down practice environment. Now we'll be really good. Oh, we've switched up our environment and now we're chatting with our friends. It's a different environment. Who cares? Okay, you got to keep your brain like, no, freaking, this is where it's important. Okay, it's just practice.
okay.
If you're comfortable using this voice with your friends, that's obviously amazing. And it sounds like they're comfortable with you having your voice, moving around a little bit. So just practice it around them. And it's literally going to be, if they're down for you being a bit odd, then like literally re-drill in front of them.
Okay.
And if that's okay, then that's fine. I know it's going to be awkward. I know it's weird, but they are friends. They love you, and I'm sure they'll support you.
Okay.
So just straight up, if something's going wrong, redrill in front of them.
Okay. I
What
mean, yeah,
can
that
also-
sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah. What can also be useful is whenever you start practicing your drill, use a particular sound. So, for example, or like a sentence or something. After you re-drill, so let's say, for example, you want to check your resonance is definitely right. We could go like, 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 yeah. Do a bunch of words that are like filler words, okay? And every time you drill, make it part of the drill, okay? That you're going to add some filler words. It's like part of a phonation test. Because in time, what I want you to build is like this. I want your brain to be like, every time I say yeah, we're straight into fem voice, okay?
Okay.
I want your brain to like drill yeah, like, so, or whatever filler words you tend to use in your language, in your like typical vernacular. Make those a part of your drill, so that your brain has like done that word 1,000,003 times and can always get it perfect. So that when you're like mid-sentence and you feel like things are going weird, just throw in a filler word. No one will notice, but you'll be able to use that to help you recenter again. It's
Okay,
called an
that's
anchor
smart.
word.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's great. I'll try that.
Yeah,
Thank
give that
you.
a go if that'll help you out. Okay. Was there another person?
Yeah, I did want to go if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. How can I help you?
So I actually I had two questions. One of them I put in chat before. I think it was one of the first people who did the one-on-one thing.
Okay.
You gave them like a weight control kind of thing for Trans Academy. I think they were from Trans Academy.
I've already forgotten, I'll be honest.
Right. So I just wanted to confirm that that's something I can do for weight control, because that's something I'm trying to work on right now.
Is it the pitch slide thing?
Yes, that was what it was.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
pitch
Let's
slide.
give it a go. Let's give it a go together. So, what I want you to do is we're going to start really heavy at a lower pitch. It's going to sound like this, and I'll bring things back into my unmodified so that things are like as like isolated as possible. Okay. So we're going to start off, and then we're going to slide that up. Okay. As we slide it up,
Okay.
we're going to lighten. Okay. And then as we're up here, we're going to slide down again. And as you slide it down, I want you to keep that lightness. Okay? Give that a go.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sounds nice and light to me. I think you already sound quite light. You get like a smidgen lighter there, because I think that's just the amount left.
Right.
So, yeah, sound pretty good to me. How'd it feel to you?
It didn't feel very stable to me, but I don't really trust my own ear for it very much.
Okay, can you do it again and I'll listen out for that specifically?
Okay.
Please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, the drill had a little bit of instability to it. However, does that instability continue? In fact, I'm gonna you are in Trans Voice. How did you find Trans Voice is going to be the question. Okay. How did you come to the server? That's going to be your question. Drill and then answer the question without lightweight. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Sure. 1, one, two, three, four. So I found the server through the subreddit. I joined because I was a little frustrated with the lack of direction I had with voice training. So I thought it'd be helpful to have more direct feedback. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's a little difficult because of a mic. I think there was maybe a tiny bit of instability. I couldn't quite tell though. Could you tell?
Okay, but that would just be a practice thing, right?
Yeah, mainly it's going to be a practice thing. Although, was that actually there or was it just a mic?
Yeah, it did sound shaky to me.
Okay. If it sounded shaky,
No,
that's just
I
going to be.
think I also heard that.
So you can do the stability exercise that I mentioned to somebody earlier, where we'll push in, okay, and that's going to make us really unstable, okay. And now we're going to, instead of pushing in, we're going to push with our fist against the abs again, but this time you're going to push back with your abs, okay, and don't let it push in, okay. You'll find that a lot more stable, okay.
Okay.
But also, just as you practice this, it'll probably get more stable. I don't really care about perfect stability, although once we're in our actual speech, then I want some decent stability. During a pitch slide, I don't really care too much because you don't normally do that unless you're singing. And if you're singing, you're going to learn stability anyway. So, yeah, for just talking, it's not a huge deal. A little instability is fine, just not so much if it sounds weird, essentially.
Okay.
Okay.
The other thing I wanted to ask about was for size.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm at a fairly good size for feminization. You did say I could probably go a bit higher with my larynx, so I will probably work on that. But I'm kind of feeling like when I come out of the drill, it's very easy to mess with pitch, everything, keep the size the same. But in general speech, I feel like it just doesn't stay stable. But I don't know if that's just earworms or something from me.
So when you say that it doesn't sound stable, do you mean instability like we were talking about before, where your voice is cutting in and out? Or do you mean the larynx height is moving?
More larynx height, I think. I feel like it drops on some words and then just jumps back up and yeah.
Okay, so for what I'm hearing right now, I think if you wanted to, you could raise your larynx higher if you want. You don't have to. It's up to you. Your larynx height ultimately is always up to you. It sounds pretty consistent. I'm not really hearing much wobbling around. If you are finding that that's an issue, though, then it is just going to be practice, I'm afraid.
Okay.
And it's going to be it's not just practice, it's vigilant practice, very, very active practice, where what I want you to do is really listen to your voice, and every time, literally every single time you feel the larynx, you hear the larynx moving a little bit, redrill. And it's going to be annoying, but every single time, okay? Because that's going to get you, one, it's going to get you listening out for it, and two, it's going to build that muscle memory, okay?
Got it, yeah.
All right. The other thing...
Thank you so much.
No worries. Yeah. Before we finish, the other thing is going to be exactly what I was just talking about with the last person, which is, it's just going to be that same build yourself an anchor word. That's going to help you with that. And also just as you go into different environments where you start using this more in real life, it's going to get a bit weird and it's going to be harder, and that's okay. That will become more normal again as you keep doing it. It's when you just go full time with your voice, whenever you feel ready to do that, it's going to be difficult and it's going to be harder than you're used to it being, but it will stabilize. Give it a month and just stick through it and you'll stabilize. And that conscious and that really focused practice is going to help with that too. Okay?
Got it. Thank you.
All right, sick. No worries. Okie dokie. Anybody else? I'll also add for Mara just now. Regular practice helps as well. So a 1 hour session of practice kind of sucks if that's the only thing you do that day. But 3 or 4 or 5, a minute practice or 30 seconds practice is sick. Okay? I really want regular. I don't care about how long for. And that applies to all of you. Cool, cool, cool. You had to leave and rejoin because it cuts black? I have no idea. Okay, anybody else? Speak next to go next. And if that's everyone, then that's totally fine too.
I mean, if nobody wants to go, then I'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Okay. So, I don't feel like I particularly need help with the basics, I guess. But okay. So I do this thing right where I sit down, I have Audacity on, and I record myself and I listen back to myself, and when I'm in the mood and I want to record something specific, then I'll do it over and over again until I find something that I like the sound of, and then I save that one, right?
Sounds good.
Okay, and then I guess the problem is the first recording is never one that I like. So and obviously I'm listening to it and I'm adjusting and changing things, right? Exaggerating the femness, I guess, in most cases. And I guess what I want to ask is am I crazy or do I normally not sound as femme as I want to?
Well, I don't know because I'm only hearing you right now.
Okay.
So what I would say is if you are finding there are issues with consistency, it's going to be all the same stuff I've just been saying to Lismara. What you might also want to try is when you find that you get that perfect, then do some focus training of switching back and forth, okay? So you're going to go from your perfect over to your unmodified, back to your perfect, back to your unmodified, back to your perfect, back to your unmodified, and get really good at switching between the two, okay? You can even start talking to yourself out loud where you're just, as you're talking, you're going to go back and forth between the two, and you can tell yourself about your day and what you've been doing in that day, and you're just going to be constantly switching back and forth between the two. That might help you for getting yourself more consistent on that perfect. And as you're doing it, maybe do it slower than I did it so that you can really pay attention and make sure it is consistently the quality that you want.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, give that a go. Come back to me with your results.
Fuck homework.
Yeah. Get homeworked, bitch. All right, who is next? Speak next to go next. And a reminder that we do these every single week. If there's something you missed, obviously you can go back over the VOD, but also swing by next week. So you can get some gets. You kind of only the stream realized you can change pitch while keeping the larynx the same. Yeah, work on that. Practice that so you can get really good at it. Okay? New people that have just joined, we are doing a voice modification workshop, trans voice workshop. We have literally, we're just around the end, so you have missed the main thing. But if you want to, swing by next Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT or UTC or whatever. Or you can head to the YouTube and you can rewatch this VOD, youtube.com/@trans_network. Or you can join my Discord and there's all sorts of stuff in my Discord. But for the new people who just joined, right now we're doing some one-on-one questions because we've gone over everything and it's just who wants a little bit of extra help. So if you already understand resonance and you already understand weight, but you like need some one-on-one help with them, then or something else entirely, then by all means, ask away. We are currently live on YouTube, so just a reminder of that fact. Yeah, okay, speak next to go next for the one-on-one feedback. A reminder that YouTube can hear you, but they can't see you. And if nobody goes next, then we might be finishing off.
Oh, wait, we can skip
Hello?
out you meant like in the thing.
Hmm?
I mean, I kind of just wanted to hear any like back, if that's okay to ask.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's what this section's for.
So I've been working on my voice for like the past month.
Mhm.
So I was just wondering, like, because in real life, like, apparently I pass very well in a lot of voice chats, and recently I've been like playing games and stuff, and my friend who actually like is cis was getting more hate than I was.
Oh, damn. Yeah, watch out for some of those
they were getting more
communities.
transvestigation than I was.
Yeah, watch out for
So-
those transvestigation communities, because they'll accuse anyone of being trans. It doesn't mean anything. They accuse cis people of being trans.
Yeah, but obviously, like, I know it doesn't really mean anything, but you know, both of us were like kind of celebrating how good my voice got.
Sounds good. How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I think it sounds good. I'm still kind of like, I would say insecure about it, but not as much as I was like maybe like last week or the week before. I've been confident enough to start using it outside of just voice chat and stuff, like I use in real life now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're happy with it, then yeah, that's like, yes. Also, so I try to avoid telling people excuse me. I try to avoid telling people like, oh, you sound femme now, or oh, you sound mas now. Obviously, if I had like a specific like, you know, how's my larynx height or whatever, then whatever, I can help you with that. But in terms of like the final analysis, like that's your job. You gotta tell me, are you happy with it? If the answer is yes, then you did it. Great job. Proud of you.
I guess I am then.
Yeah, great. You did it. Good job, Penny. Well done. Go field test it. Start using it in real life.
All right, thank you.
All right, one thing I'm going to prepare you for is sometimes in real life, you'll find that your voice, because it's like a different environment, sometimes things get a little bit weird and sort of like you struggle to keep it consistent. If you power through that, eventually it'll stabilize again. It's just your brain not being used to doing it in this different environment, for different social settings, and you know, some people can feel a bit more pressure, and sometimes that just impacts our control when we feel that we can't control it as well. If you keep practicing and keep using it just full time, that'll go away. It took me from the point of starting like using it full time. My first 2 weeks, it was abysmal. It was like the worst voice I've ever produced. And after about a month, it was stable again, and it was exactly where I wanted it. So yeah, just preparing you for that. That might happen. Might not, but it might. Yeah. You just power through it if it happens. Okie dokie. Anybody else? Speak next to go next.
Hi. So I've been training for about, I think, 6 months or so now. And I've kind of hit a bit of a deadline now, or like a dead end.
Okay.
I've gotten to a point where I'm using it in person. Now I'm using it in every asset of my life, or aspect of my life, that I can't really expand it from here on. So I can't get to a point where I can do much else with it. I can't sing with it, stuff like that. I mostly struggle with stuff like pitch changes and stuff like that. What sort of thing could I use to practice these extra variations of flexibility of my current voice?
So the pitch stuff, I am hearing some movement in your pitch as you're talking there. In terms of singing, I don't specifically teach singing, just because I don't have much expertise with it. But if you were looking for someone to help you with singing, I strongly recommend the Singuistics server. I strongly recommend You're in Trans Academy. I strongly recommend Savvy. I'm pretty certain I'm sure she does singing voice, singing stuff, but I know she's a very high quality teacher. Celine in Online Vocal Coach, OVC, she does singing stuff. She's really good. I'm sure there are others, but personally, I don't do singing, I'm afraid, because I suck at singing. In terms of other stuff, can you give me some
sorry,
examples?
I think I was just using singing as like a general example of like
sure.
flexibility and sort of thing. Because because I've gone from having a lot of flexibility in doing like improv voice acting and such as a guy, to coming up to this, and this is practically my only variation of this voice. I can't do much of it. So yeah.
Okay, give me some examples. What kind of variation are we looking for? Because right now I hear like a very expressive voice. Like you're doing a lot with your voice.
How can I say it? It's like I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. I really should have prepared this. I guess with like guy voice, for example, it's all the things you can do. It's like if I go down to like my normal voice, it's like doing all the different accents and stuff like that, or like going over to Soap's voice or something like that, or all the things you can do with it. But then when I go up to my girl voice, I'm like this, very happy, stable, but there's not much I can do with it.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, so how did you go about learning your different accents in your unmodified voice?
Accents were just very simple. I literally just watched like a 5-minute tutorial, learn like the little bits and bobs here and there, and then I just replicate them throughout the day. And I can normally learn it by doing it over about a week or so.
Through like mimicry stuff. So I would imagine it's probably just going to be rebuilding from scratch. Literally the same process that you were originally learning it, relearn it. You might also find that for some accents, for some regions, there'll be like some slight differentiation between how like the male version of an accent versus the female version of an accent. And I would mainly suggest, especially if you're good at mimicry, just seek out some women using the accent you're trying to learn. In terms of all of these different things, I think what you're mainly looking for is some exploration in your voice. If you do voice acting stuff, you're probably already good at exploring your voice. You just need to do some more exploring in your new voice. So play around with like, it will also help like understanding, like get a bit of a deeper level of understanding of what is actually happening in some of these different things. So instead of just mimicking, try like learning like, okay, this weird thing that I do in my voice, what's actually happening there? And if you can get to understand the mechanics of what's happening, you can then learn to understand, okay, well, I just need to do this while having my larynx raised and while having a more closed quotient, okay? A brighter resonance and a lighter vocal weight, yeah? So if you learn the mechanics, you can just manually set everything up if you need to. If you're interested in that, I would highly recommend Singuistics. But yeah, I think this is mainly going to be a matter of exploring your femme voice like a lot more, and like intentionally trying to go like as wacky as possible while keeping things sounding how you want them to sound. Like just make, even if it's not a particular sound that you're learning to do, just try to make the weirdest sounds you can use, and like all the weird stuff you can do with your modified voice. Try to do that and just get like stretch out a little bit. Yeah, how does that sound?
All right. Yeah, I'll give it. I think the thing that's been putting me off is that as I try it, I either lose my voice cracks, or I literally just can't do anything. So it is just a simple thing of power through the mistakes until it happens, essentially.
Yeah, so essentially, okay, mistakes are not bad. Mistakes are learning opportunities. No. Let it fuck up, notice it fuck up, fix it, and carry on. Okay?
Yeah.
So if your resonance drops, bring it back up and carry on. Mistakes, this is like a common problem that people run into. Mistakes are a good thing, okay? They're learning opportunities. So long as you notice a mistake, which I assume you're going to be pretty good at that because you're already pretty advanced in this. So notice a mistake, fix a mistake, keep going, okay? You just improved when you did that, okay? Things got better when you did that. So use the mistakes, they're opportunities, okay?
Fantastic, thank you.
All right, good luck. Okie dokie. Who's next? Speak next to go next. I do see
what
we have
are we
some new
doing?
people in the various Discords, so I'm just going to do a quick reminder that we are currently live on YouTube. So just remember that if you are speaking, YouTube can hear you. They can't see you, but they can hear you. Yeah. Okay. Someone was speaking there? Go for it.
Was that me?
Hi. How can I help you?
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. What are we doing? Voice training at the moment?
Yeah. So we're currently in the
Yeah,
feedback
yeah.
section. So just what can I help you with in terms of your voice? What are you currently struggling with?
Okay. I really don't know because I'm all over the place with my voice. It's constantly changing, and I want to voice train more to get a more consistent sound. Preferably something that keeps my accent because I'm from Ireland, but because I watched so much movies from America as a kid and stuff, I kind of developed that a bit of a Yankees in my
fair enough.
voice.
I had the same
so
thing.
I kind of want to reduce that a bit, and I guess just I mean, I have specific voices I've tried out that I really like. It's just a matter of keeping them consistent, just being able to effortlessly do them.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the main thing you're looking for is reclaiming your accent a little bit and consistency. Now, what I heard in your voice just now sounded pretty consistent to me. I could, after you told me Irish, I could find it and hear it, but it was it's buried in there.
Yeah.
So yes, it's there, but I know what you mean. So my main advice for that is going to be listen to the women around you. I imagine there are women that exist in your life. For most people, that is a thing. Whether it's your mum or if you've got sisters or whatever, listen to them. Listen to now that you've developed some understanding of voice, listen to what's going on, and start trying to imitate the accent and bringing it back again. You could also try. You don't need to demonstrate it now if that makes you uncomfortable. But I'm just going to ask you: do you still have your accent in your original voice? In your unmodified?
Like my pre-voice training voice.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really have it anymore. I can't really bring okay, this is about as deep as I can bring my voice down. So but yeah.
Okay, no worries. So I think it's just going to be a matter of listening to people with the accent that you want, and I would generally advise listen to people geographically close to you, literally people in your town, city, village, whatever. Because accents can be
and I think
more regional than we think.
If I can just interrupt for a second, I think a huge part of it is that, especially with voice training, just for feminine voice training in general, it can become really hard to let your voice relax, because you're so used to, when you're voice training, you're thinking of every little inflection you're doing. And then I guess and then if I practice for 5 minutes, I can do perfect female voice in whatever accent I want. It's the problem of just being able to naturally let that flow out without overworking my voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So let me think about how I want to approach this. You're already using your voice full time, which is usually what I'm going to use this is usually the way I fix it, by telling people you need to use your voice more. You're already doing that, but you're still finding it a lot of cognitive load. So what I'm going to get you to do is you were there for the feedback I gave for the person before you, yeah?
Sorry?
The person that was just before you. Did you hear my feedback for her?
The accent.
Exact same for you, okay? I want you to really explore your new voice, okay? Play around with all sorts of wacky sounds. I don't care what it is, but do weird shit. Okay? Get weird with it.
I think
Stretch
the hard
out.
part for me with voice is that I really want like a really feminine voice. I can do, just fine kind of, if I can go deeper and sound still femme. But I guess when I'm in public, I'm just overthinking like, oh my gosh, is this specific thing working with my voice, or is this thing not working, or...
Yeah, so there's two things I'm going to say about that. One, that's brainworms. What you're describing is brainworms.
It's brainworms.
That's brainworms. I have that too. I am like, my boyfriend gets annoyed because I almost every day I'm like, is this sounding femme right now? Is this good? Oh
my boyfriend's
gosh.
the exact same.
I am constantly
my
doing
boyfriend's
that.
the exact same.
Like to the point where he is annoyed at me doing that all the time.
Yeah.
So that's brainworms. That said, if you decided that you did want to feminize further, one thing you can look into is because your larynx height is like pretty there. So if you wanted to squeeze,
and I can bring it even higher. This is kind of my lower, kind of what I usually do with my larynx.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go like hyper femme, but bear in mind,
yeah,
for your location for Ireland, this is going to be. We're going to be femining it up a lot more than for women around you. But you could look into some OPC stuff and go really crazy with that.
Yeah.
Have you looked at OPC in the
I'm
past?
trying to think what a hyperfemme Irish voice would be like. It would kind of be like...
I'm not going to try and do an Irish accent, so...
Hello there, I'm from Dublin. And, it's like... Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so just keep in mind that in the UK in general, and this includes Ireland, we have darker voices. So
totally,
keep that in mind. But if you wanted to go as bright as possible, then play with some OPC stuff. OPC, it's a little annoying because there isn't really a very good drill for it. It's literally going to be...
What's OPC again?
OPC,
Sorry.
oral pharyngeal closure. I'm going to drop a GIF in each of the chats. I'll show you exactly what it is.
Is this in the voice channels chat, or is this in the separate voice
The
training
one that's
text
the one that
channel?
is our call. So the voice training
Okay.
call chat.
Got it.
Pictures. OPC. Okay. No, not that one. That one. Okay, that everyone
I
gets to
see it
see
now.
this. OPC. Okay, do you see right at the back? Okay, look for that. This now to the level that she's doing it, she won't be able to talk. She would be like choking on her own voice there. So like, you don't need to go that extreme, but get that motion. This is a difficult thing to train. It's just going to be a matter of look in a mirror, shine like your phone torch, shine it in your mouth.
I will download this GIF if that's okay.
Go for it. Yeah. It's not me.
Oh, no worries.
This is just every server has this now. I don't even know who that is. It's probably Elle something. She was like one of the OGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one other question, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you have any just tips for general femme singing? Because I used to have a really good femme singing voice, and then I got a really bad cold, and I'm still kind of recovering from that.
Okay.
And I've kind of lost it all. I'm back from starting from scratch, I guess.
Okay, a couple of things. One, if you're sick, just have a break. It's fine. Just let yourself be sick for a bit. And when you're not sick, then go back to it, okay? Two, when you're sick, you probably have a lot more mucus going on. That's going to just screw with things a bit. It's going to make it a bit darker, and it's also just going to give you much less flexibility. Again, if you're sick, just take a break. If you are super mucusy, and this might be a thing that you find in mornings, so we'll describe morning voice. Soft teas will help get rid of that. As we sleep, we build up a lot of mucus.
Morning voice. I get a lot of morning voice, yeah.
Yeah, so literally what morning voice is as you sleep, vocal mucus is building up on your vocal tract, and because we're not swallowing, because we're sleeping, we're not getting rid of any of it. Also, dust is coming in and is like settling in that mucus, so it's getting like thick. So that's all like messing us up a bit. just do like a solid like 5 minutes of softies and it'll clear all of it away.
Got it.
Yeah, softies fix morning voice. So you can try that for morning voice. And also, like, if you're feeling sicky, it can help a little bit as well. Although generally, I would just say take a break.
Yeah.
For singing in general, I can't give much advice because, as I said, I don't really know singing and it's quite far outside of my remit.
No worries.
What I will say is generally, and this applies to just everybody, society as a whole has moved towards, like, as we become more globalized and everybody is collectively contributing to music, singing has tended towards feminizing more for both masc and femme.
Yeah.
So masc singers are feminizing just a little bit, and femme singers are also feminizing a little bit. It's only a small amount, but it is a thing. So you might find, try going like extra feminine for your singing and you might notice a difference. Again, OPC stuff, as well as like all the other stuff that you already know. Have a play with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for you, I think the main thing, the Irish accent, definitely spend some time doing that if that's something that's important to you.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I think consider the possibility of brainworms worming your brain. I think that's definitely a thing for you.
Yeah.
I don't really have a good solution to that, but at least knowing that it's a thing. Like your voice right now is sounding pretty consistent. I'm not hearing any issues.
Yeah.
Everything's, yeah.
Okay then.
Okay. All right. Good luck out there, Bailey. You got this.
Thank you.
There he is. How do you even with OPC? It's literally just going to be a matter of do what she's doing. Open your mouth. Lower your tongue. Your tongue's going to try to raise up. If you look at the GIF, you can see her tongue try to raise up. You're going to have to stop it doing that just because you need to see. Normally, you'll let your tongue raise up, but like when you're looking in the mirror, like it'll get in the way. You won't be able to see anything. So lower your tongue back down and just look for that arch of the back. Don't worry about those like spiky things or spiky looking, those like pincer things that are coming in. That's just her mouth shape in particular. You're looking at the arch behind that. That's her. What's an arch called? Oh, I always forget it. But it's part of the oropharyngeal occlusion. It's part of the oropharynx. Oh my gosh, what's that called? Something arch. Whatever. Point is, that's OPC. That's like incredible amounts of OPC. Play around with that and play around with the sounds that it makes. Okie dokie. Anybody else? Speak next to go next. Frickin' jacket. Stay open. Nobody. There's nobody going next. Speak next to go next. Otherwise we'll be finishing off. Alright then. Oh, I see some typing. That doesn't mean stop typing. You're just scared to do it right now with zero practice? I mean, if you can just like, screw it, I'm going to do it, then go for it. Otherwise, if you're feeling too nervous, if you were to join my Discord, Trans Network, I do have a little clip submission, so you can just send something over and I'll get to it when I can. That's usually a bit of a delay because pretty much after the workshop, I immediately become super busy for like a few days. It's like, just give me a few days. But I will get to it, I promise. Oh, but my Discord is 18 plus. Not that we have anything in NSFW or anything. Just I don't want to be responsible for minors because that's a lot. And I don't like that Discord doesn't have any protections for minors. So I'm really sorry, Green Game Fire. You are welcome everywhere else though. Like you're welcome at YouTube. You're welcome at for workshops. You're welcome everywhere. It's just not for Discord until you hit 18. But by all means, you can visit. They have the same thing in Transvoice. Clip feedback. Oh no, you post it in clips, and then someone gives you in clip feedback. It's a bit of an. It's not as clean as mine is. I'll be honest, but it is there. And even if I don't get to your clip, someone will. People that I super recommend listening to, their feedback is going to be like, Winter is really good. Winter got that big brain. There is another vocal coach in Transvoice. They're called, oh my god, Lunaf or something. It's something Luna, something like that. They're pretty good too. I mean, they're a coach, so straight up. You think you did one a bit ago? Yeah, someone will get to it, Dory. Or if nobody gets to it, you are at full liberty to just at Zaras12, and I will get to it. Don't at the Zaras13 because I only log into that for these workshops. Zaras12, you can just at me. That's fine. I'm like the one person that's okay with being atted, because it's too much for me to pay attention to all these different Discords. You're confused about the advice. Well, if you're comfortable with me doing it on stream, bearing in mind we are streaming on YouTube, I can read it out loud and I can try and translate if you want. Only if you're comfortable with that, though. Yeah, forward it to here. That would be really useful for me. It saves me having to search for it. Also, I'm hearing so many little Discord noises and I don't know what they are. I imagine it's just people doing meetups in Trans Academy. Yeah, we've been going for nearly 6 hours. How crazy is that? It's like a full work day. Okie dokie. So, in no access. What? Where is? Why don't I have access to that? Maybe that's just because it's on my Zaras13. Probably, yeah. Okay. Do I not have? I do have clip feedback. I don't know where that was in. I hear that you have a lot of good elements going on there. You just need to stabilize and refine them. Size and weight are the key here, and your size is a bit on the larger side overall, so making it smaller is one obvious part / idea here. The weight is mostly unstable. It oscillates between being good, lighter, and heavier, so you would also want to stabilize it. It may be a good idea to start from the stabilization, because if you have it shifting like that, it's likely that it will confuse you as to the size work. You want to work on size with your weight being stable. Okay. I would say for that feedback, and obviously I haven't listened to the clip itself, I think they are telling you to go work on your weight. I would say work on it in general. So if you rewind the VOD of this over to my weight / glottal quotient section, go back over my weight drills, pick one that works for you, and drill it a whole bunch of times. Get really good at moving your weight back and forth. Then change your size again, so that's raising your larynx, that's brightening your resonance, okay?
Hi.
Hello.
I'm feeling depressed.
Yeah, so brighten your resonance again, and then do your practice again, okay? Close in most ways, but need to go just a little further. Aim less airy, more efficient. So they're telling you, okay, less airy means like, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is me being super airy and breathy right now. But if I was to remove that and now talk normally, this is me talking without that breathiness. So it sounds like what they're telling you to do there is some control on your breathiness. Try and mimic these changes, and they even give you a little thing there so you can have a listen to. Changes in this order, and for any that you're not sure how to do yet, this would make good areas to focus on. Yes, I won't play that audio file because we are live on stream right now. I don't have their permission. But yeah, now that I've described it like that, does that make sense to you? We have also gone through, my boyfriend's just told me to be a bit more quiet, so I'll be a bit more quiet. We have also gone through breathiness and weight in this VOD. So by all means, youtube.com/@trans_network, go back through the VOD and like go for the weight section, and that'll help you. Based on that feedback though, I think what you should be doing, and bear in mind this is me not having actually listened to the clip, so yeah, go watch a bit of a VOD, do your weight stuff, and get really good at that weight stuff, then do that resonance shift, that larynx shift, that size shift. Once you're nice and bright, do the weight again and get really good at it. And make sure that make sure breathiness is totally a separate thing. Okay? Don't go breathy when you go light. Okay? How does that sound? And I'll probably make this one the last feedback because I am very sleepy now. Sounds good. You'll probably make a clip soon so you can hear it because you think that the old clip channel is gone. Oh, it's an old clip channel. Got ya. Okay. That's why I have no access. Yeah. My brain's turning off. Yeah. Go over the stuff I said. Rewatch those bits of the VOD and they'll help you with that. Okie dokie. I'm going to wrap it up now because my brain is turning off and I can feel myself losing concentration. So, thank you guys so much for coming. For people that have stuck it out for this entire 6 hours, you guys are insane. How have you done that? You're awesome. I love you. So, for those that have just joined us, or for those that are late, we do these every single week, 7 p.m. GMT in the exact same channel that you're in right now. So come back next week, Saturday, 7 p.m. UTC, GMT, whatever. Also, this is streamed live to, this is streamed live to my YouTube, youtube.com/@trans_network. So if you want to, you can rewatch the VOD over there. And it just goes through, we go through the entire process of voice feminization, voice masculinization, voice androgenization, all of the gender affirming voice stuff. The workshop is like a whole thing. You can also join my Discord. It is 18 plus, I'm afraid. Not that anything there is like an 18 plus thing. I'm just not comfortable with the lack of protections for minors in Discord. And so for my community, I wanted to keep things adults only. I don't like that somebody can just go onto like a list of online people and message a minor. That's insane to me. So in my Discord, it is adults only, I'm afraid. But if you're an adult, head over to the Discord. I do lessons there. We have makeup workshops. They've recently started. Not by me. We have an in-house makeup artist. And they are like super insanely talented. So yeah, check that out. If you go to the events section, you'll be able to see, it will show you the regular workshops in your time zone, and it will also show you the makeup workshops. Those are monthly. Yeah, I do lessons over there. Right now we're fully booked, but I will be opening that up, private lessons soon. I think on our next batch we're going to have, I'm going to start charging for private lessons, but I will also start doing free shadow wall lessons. So there'll be people shadowing and it could go on YouTube, and that's sort of the exchange you're giving me so I can use it for advertising. And then it still gets to be free. What have we got left? Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/transnetwork. This workshop is brought to you by the people that have donated on the Ko-fi. The reason that I've been able to hire a makeup artist is because people donating at the Ko-fi. So subscribe to any tier over there if you want to help financially. That massively helps everything that we do. Literally everything we do right now is funded by the Ko-fi people. So huge thank you to them. They've made this possible. So yeah, we'll give them a little shout out. Screw it. Our tier 1 supporters, we have Red Kitten, we have Am, we have Mihuggy, and we have Himori. Our tier 2 supporter, we have Lanmisa, and our tier 3 supporter, our superstar Beth. These people are why you get to have these workshops. So huge thank you to those people. Yeah, okay. And I think that is everything. Thank you all so much for coming. And yeah, I will see you next week for the next workshop. All right, cool. Yeah. Alrighty. Everybody say bye-bye to YouTube, because they're the first people we're going to say bye to. Oh my gosh, there was wait, Kits. Oh my gosh, Kits. Did I miss? I hope that wasn't from ages ago. I don't get timestamps on the YouTube chat. Kits, if you are still there, I'm so sorry if I missed you, or if you just asked that, then that's fine. You really want to work on making your voice be more feminine. Was just a minute ago. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. You want to work on making your voice more feminine, but you're not good at the theory side of stuff like that. Would you have any tips by chance? I would recommend go back through the VOD, go through the exercises that we've gone through. So learn your weight control drill, your open quotient drill, and also the big dog, small dog drill for the larynx side, okay? So get yourself, we did a whole bunch of weight drills, so pick one that you're good at. Get that good control, really get that good control. Once you've mastered that, head over to the larynx height stuff, okay? The size or resonance stuff. It's going to be big dog, small dog is going to be your main one. Master that. Once you've got those, bring it together, okay? And that's going to be how you do femme voice. Kits, I recommend rewatching the VOD. you're gonna benefit a lot. And you can also join the Discord if you want one-on-one help with me, and check out our cool community. We've got a cool ass community. All right, YouTube, goodbye. Thank you so much for coming. We love you. You're the best. That is a horrible heart. That sucks. I don't know how to do hearts real good. Whatever. It looks good from my end. Okay. Love you, YouTube. We'll see you next week. Saturday.
You think my voice is good?
Okay. Bye bye, YouTubes.